Well met, lords and ladies, Jacob Butter speaking, and welcome back to another episode of... This stream is cursed, I swear. So first of all, the Fallen Angels original video was supposed to come out on Saturday. But it did not. I just hear my computer monitor turned off. Great. And my camera's down. Like I said, everything's cursed. Yeah. Original video meant to be out on Saturday. Wasn't the case because Aidan did not receive a thumbnail from Emily. And so I decided to do a placeholder in order to, make sure that the video could come out. So it just had something on there. But Aidan didn't tell me at the time that he tends to stream at 12. He wanted to aim for stream at 12 speed because that's time that he tends to stream, and that wasn't a compromisable thing. So because of that, that got pushed back to Monday. As far as the premiere, I mean, not streaming wise. And then I forget the reason why. But there was an issue with Monday, so that got pushed back until Wednesday. At which point, I then had audio issues again because new computer at the time, and still need to stay. But I mean, it was like on that day I just got the computer, and the audio was still dropping out. I fixed the issue right after ending the stream, but I had to end the stream in order to address the issue to begin with. And then with this one, I just did the intro and it wasn't streaming, and now I just did it all over again. So hopefully now, again, for real this time, we're going to get through this. We're going to get through this together, because I have with me our usual guest, Aidan the Best.
Jacob, were you saying something? I mean, I didn't hear you the whole time. Your mouth was moving. I was so confused. Are you speaking? Hello? I'm kidding. That's a joke.
I know. I can tell you're kidding. I can tell that you're kidding. It's fine.
I'm not.
Right.
I'm not yeah, no. Yeah, too.
And yeah, we're in the old room because people were downstairs, and at the time they're playing that.
So yes.
Okay, I'll just do it here.
Episode 7, part 1. There's a few things that was in the old stream that I stated in the stream chat, which were read out, but probably should be restated here. So
yeah, part
of the reason why episode 7 is cut into 2 parts again was because I did a community poll. I asked the community polls like, hey, should I cut it into 2 parts like the original so I could get it out faster? Or should I just wait to have it being a single episode and just it'll be a bit longer? Which, keep in mind, I still haven't worked on part 2, so this video wouldn't be out for like another month.
I like how we were just talking about the Music Freaks doing precisely that for the spin-off and the pros and cons behind that.
Okay, yeah, but I feel like part 2 works a bit better as its own episode as well, or works decently as its own episode because it mostly focuses on Helen. Because you already get past all the Angel backstory in this episode, so at part 2, mostly focusing on Helen and her backstory. Ooh.
Yeah. We'll figure that out when we get to review the spin-off, which should be tomorrow. In case anyone didn't know, Rosie Closey posted the new Music Freak spin-off, episode 2, which I think is the finale as well.
Yeah, it is the finale, even though it's not labeled finale.
Yeah, so that came out today. We're going to review it tomorrow because, again, this stream must be completed. So yeah, I guess we'll I was gonna say we could compare, but no, it's a part 1 and part 2. That doesn't work. We'll do our usual thing. Doesn't matter. So
yes,
go into here. Still does not save the shortcuts.
Oh dang!
Used to do that. Oh well, doesn't matter. I've only got a couple of videos in here. One of them was trying to laugh with the Starkey trying to laugh one from yesterday. I'm not going to play that on camera again, am I? So
wait. Since I wasn't there for that, I just got a question. Did Phoebe still try to claim it was canon after watching it?
Not really. No.
Oh, because I feel like she would do that. I feel like she'd be like, "It's still canon." It's
for
in
the
just
memes, but no.
It's in a very alternate universe. Very different.
As if it 400 reviews in the old setup room. Kind of missed the old room. No offense to the new setup room. Okay, fair enough. It kind of sounds like every time the Aidan Play changes rooms, or the Nostalgia Critic had the whole white wall thing. I guess it's kind of like that in a sense. But yeah, don't get used to this. This is
Yeah.
probably a one-off thing.
Okay, so also this intro here, I forgot I made this intro for like episode for all the future remakes, like episode 6 onwards. I think the first time it showed up was episode 6 in its remake. But I forgot I made this intro. So when I was like going back and I was like, am I gonna have to use the original season 1 intro? I was like, wait a minute, I made this intro. Never mind. I'm using this now.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah.
It's actually a pretty well edited intro, if I do say so myself, but you know.
Well, let's have a look at it now. We've already seen it already, but I don't remember.
Yeah.
So yeah, without further ado,
been like a
on with
year.
the review.
Don't fall, don't forget all the things
I mean, already that's pretty good, pretty well timed with the music, the actual fade,
you've been taught, you've been told. Don't blink, don't run,
and the don't blink.
don't
Yeah, you're getting
turn
better at
left,
that.
turn right, or look straight at the sun. My mind's going in circles, I'm trying to fight it. Getting these voices inside to stay quiet. Going to the place where all this began.
I mean, now this is starting to seem slightly slower than before, I guess because of like how the pan actually worked. Considering how fast everything was going at the different like musical beats. But it still works, and I do like the way that it fades from Zack to Harvey, you know.
Yeah, we play both of them.
Yeah. And again, I think I said this last time, but just in case, it can come off unintentionally, like AC9123 and Shorty voice Kurt and Hades respectively, as they appear on screen at the same time. I know what you're trying to do. You know that those are the people that are haunting both of them at the moment, and that's why that's the athematic thing that they share. But yeah, that's just. It does remind me of how I put like Pop Josephine's gang all in like one slide, and I had them different names there. But yeah. Oh, that's me again. That's me again. I like how at the very end they strike the traditional Aidan pose. You know, the triumphant Superman one.
The Superman
But that was like
pose.
saved until the end.
Yes.
I can't believe Adam is still not caught.
Yeah, I guess.
Oh wait, we have a commentary about this first scene, don't we?
I also have a commentary about this first.
No,
scene,
well,
but,
it was mostly your commentary, but you know, you go on. You better explain it than I do. Maybe.
Okay, yeah. So I'm pretty sure I know what you're referring to, but what I was going to say, regardless, was that now Zack's lines are actually audible for the first time for everyone, because this happened before. If you haven't seen Kid Abba's reaction to the original episode, she brings us up a little bit of like what's about the issue with that microphone and how it sounded distorted. What had happened was this was recorded around the time that I can't remember if I either first started at university that I was at, or it was we just like got back from lockdown and I was able to access the place again. Probably the second one. But ultimately, the university that I was at had for people in certain departments had access to or gave you access to some voice audio booths. There were 3 voice audio booths in like the building, and there was one that I spent a lot of time in. And that's why sometimes during that time I'd be like, okay, you want me to do some lines for this? All right, I'll be right back. And I'd like actually like walk up to the building and do like a bunch of things in batch, which is also why I did a bunch of song remakes in 2022 that I haven't released yet, because I knew that was the best. Like, it was literal studio quality. However, it didn't start out that way, because the issue with studio microphones sometimes is that some of them work better between like mono and stereo. Other times, you know, that they just have to like have some settings adjusted, because also most people on that software will use Adobe Audition. I use Audacity specifically. So there was some tweakings that needed to happen, and because because when I listened back to it in the studio, it sounded perfectly fine. I did not notice that there's the issues. It's the same thing that happened with the Minecraft Adventures theme song, because there was a version of that theme song that you couldn't actually hear, because I tried to record it in stereo, and all people heard was the instrumental. Certain people, some other people were able to hear it. Again, with headphones, I was able to be perfectly fine, so I didn't know there was an issue.
Which was an issue when I edited the video, because when I was editing the video, I could hear the audio perfectly.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just I didn't realize there was an issue till I put the video out. Then I'm like, oh, oops. I mean, you know.
So whenever I've been like invited onto do like guest reactions on other people's channels for the original episode, or when I did my own review a while back, it was I actually just would repeat the exact line that Zack had just said. I just regurgitated it back, but now I don't have to.
Yeah. Also, Ghost Idiot the song is called Breakdown.
Mm-hmm. It's still
a really
song
good song
even after all this time. Always.
And
good at hiding.
This is Diologies all over again, but worse.
Diologies. Okay.
Yeah,
also, just
some issues with recordings.
Okay. Keep in mind, these are the reused Miller lines from the original episode. Because currently Key is dead, and I would find it weird recasting Key. Just to, just be like, hey, by the way, you're probably not going to have many future lines, if any, because who knows if season 2 will ever get remade. Probably not. Depends on if I really innovate.
Knowing you, most likely.
If I could hyper innovate, like if I somehow get more like another animator to be able to at least animate a scene per episode constantly. Maybe, but yeah, I don't think I could do much better than what season 2, episode 1 already did. So probably not. I
mean, sure, but that's not necessarily the be all and end all necessarily. I mean, who knows? You might doing what I do and discover a brand new editing technique that will change everything.
Yeah.
But like ultimately as well, it does come down to, because when you started doing the remakes of Fallen Angels, at the time we think like, is it a bit too soon for some of these? Because ultimately, for some of the remakes, there wasn't too much of a difference in certain areas. In fact, a lot of the times it's a shot for shot remake of the original. This one seems very close to the original scene particularly, and to some extent that's expected, but it's just a case like, well, why bother if it looks so similar, and. But then as you like gain more and more distance over time, you do go back and just like, oh yeah, because I watched the original episode, on Wednesday in preparation to watch this episode. I was like, okay, well, I'm gonna remind myself of this stuff, and I did see a few things that I knew that if you made this today, which you did, they would not happen again. And if I remember all of them, I will point them out to the people.
Yeah, it's also kind of nice as well, because at least with some of the newer VAs, it's kind of nice to hear how they interpret some of the lines, interpret some of the stuff. Like the major new VA in this episode that wasn't in the original, what is Phantom as Diogenes, and you get to hear his version of the exposition and his version of like how things were compared to G-Man in the original. So it is kind of nice to at least hear a bit of difference, or even with some of the more experienced VAs, hearing how, like, people who re-record their dialogue, such as Alana, Helen, Zack, and me, anyone who's re-recorded the dialogue for this episode, you kind of get to hear how it's a bit different, because,
Oh yeah, because here's the thing about about voice acting as well, for anyone watching this. When you when you do a voice for a long time, or when you're, especially like when you're cast like in multiple roles, like I was immediately cast in multiple roles, you go back to some of the original ones, and there's not too much of a difference between the different characters. At least not the ones that were introduced in the first episode. Like Zack and Thanatos were roughly around the same age as each other, and that was an issue that I had to resolve by the time episode 3 came around, because they had a team where they talked to each other. But But nowadays I can make a distinction, because I'm so used to it, and I've also like evolved the way that I actually kind of do the lines,
Yeah.
So like you can go from like all the way for Harvey, and you can obviously tell that this is him, especially with that like a little bit of like an extra like graininess on top of it, which of course can sometimes like go into Zack, and he's around this particular range, and also a little bit faster than Harvey at talking, and sometimes a bit more mellow. if he's like projecting, it'll be different, but I'm not gonna do that right now. And then of course Thanatos evolved into this all the way down here. So everyone eventually got something that would distinguish them over time, but that was not immediate. So yeah.
Yeah.
Huh?
Diogenes ran away, gave a few
Oh, she did say Diogenes that time, because Ghost Kitty points out in the chat that it wasn't even Dionysus, it was Diogenes that was in there. But yeah, so that did end up getting fixed, but it wasn't.
To
the
be
case.
fair,
you
that's not
couldn't
the
splice that into the original line, could you? And be like, this is a classic Diogenes thing to do. It doesn't really work.
To be fair, there is another VA mispronounces the name Diogenes later in this, which I think is technically a worse thing to mispronounce it for coming from a certain character.
Well,
I'm Dagones. No, you're not. You're not Dagones.
Okay, you know what? We'll address that one because I'm aware of a couple of mispronunciations in the original episode that I also want to point out.
I don't think syphilis is that again, which I'm glad. I'm glad.
Yes, for example, I was waiting until we got to the scene, but yes, the syphilis thing was one of the examples. Actually, that was the example of this episode because the other one is like ambidextrous, which happens like overall, but that's not exclusive to this episode.
Ambidextrous.
Yeah.
What's out? Ambidextrous is coming.
That's the worst one, just because of how. Yeah, that was the worst one because of how consistent it was. Like
yeah,
it was
but
every
like,
single time.
Doesn't even look like ambidextrous because like there's an R. Ambidextrous doesn't really have a R sound in it. Like I mean, I guess you could do ambroxis, ambrosis. I don't know, but I don't think you could get. I don't know how you got ambidextrous. How anyone got ambidextrous from abraxas.
Yeah, I don't know how because managed to get like a 4-syllable word from a 3-syllable one. Like normally people complain whenever I put words that are too big in scripts. What happens when the VA makes a word that's smaller into a word that is bigger? What do you do in that situation, huh? I've not watched That's Called before in a while, but I swear I saw KW's name in the intro. When did that happen?
Yeah, she ended up taking over for Monet for Carrie in the remake of episode 6.
Yeah.
And Carrie's kind of dead, so you know. Oof. Carrie got murdered.
Yeah, I mean, see that's a character that you did have to at least bring back at least that once.
people a heads up about their death, but Adam? He took far more drastic action.
Yeah, he always was a loose cannon.
It just makes me so mad.
Yeah, I get that.
Why aren't you mad?
I disagree with him, but a very small part of me understands where he's coming from.
Oh.
Maybe it's because I've known him for so long. Like, he was my best friend, and...
I got it.
This is where I think he was supposed to, cast him a look particularly. I would have had this so that Key actually was looking direct at him rather than, an inquisitive stare of sorts, rather than seemingly regretting, oh, he's not too much on my side. Oh, I thought we were on the same page. It was not meant to be.
Well, it's more like, you don't agree with me. This is kind of weird. This is uncomfortable. Yeah. Why are you saying this? Are you one of the evil doubters? Are you gonna destroy the society? Do I have to kill you?
Yeah. I mean, that is ultimately the
also, Zack is spelled with a K. Zack is spelled with a K.
Yeah, see, Zack from Komai is spelled with an H. Zack from Fallen Age is spelled with a K. But and I gave them both the exact same voice when I played them. When
I see Zack with an H, though, I just read Zatch, not Zack. Zatch. Because you got that ch sound with the CH.
I guess.
Zatch.
There is like a Smosh bit that they did one time where it was like one letter off TV shows. And yeah, it was just Zatch and Cody at that point, and they did have to stop. It was like, we're gonna go miss Mr. Mosby or something. I was like, actually, before we go, you've been mispronouncing my name this whole time. It's actually Zack. And that was it. That was the whole bit. It wasn't really funny. That was not one of their highlights of that episode. There were other ones that were better. Anyway.
Dang.
Also,
She's my little pumpkin girl. She's a little pumpkin.
I didn't see it before. I didn't see it before, but now.
I mean, she does wear a lot of orange, man.
I mean, yeah. If anything, this is like general, like autumnal, I guess, fashion to an extent.
Good job.
I really like her dress.
See you later.
Her like overall dress thing. It's like cute. Oh,
did I say too
did
much?
the video speed up there? I think the video skipped 2 seconds.
Yeah, I think it went slightly out of sync. We're gonna go back for a bit.
Yeah, because like the video wasn't that fast.
See you later.
There we go. Did I say too much?
Yes.
I don't think so. Okay, first improvement, but also a thing I'm also a critique. First improvement from the original that I'm gonna point out. So in the original episode, when Zack says, "Did I say too much?" Diogenes just swoops down immediately, like, I don't think you did.
I don't think you did.
Without like any lead in.
Oh, also, Bond called Diogenes a Josh ripoff. Excuse me, Diogenes existed before Josh made his Gacha OC.
Or at least before we were aware of Josh's Gacha OC. If anyone
Okay,
actually
yeah.
know, here's a comment from Josh so people can see on the chat what we're on the stream what we're talking about.
Diogenes may have a similar color palette, but you know.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what Josh looks. I think that's what Josh looks like in real life. I don't know because I've never seen him, but
Yeah.
I think that was the idea.
But like, still, how dare Bond be like, oh, who's the Josh lookalike or ripoff or whatever? It's like, no, Diogenes has existed for a while. What do you mean? How dare?
Yeah.
Diogenes is his own human being.
I just want to remind everyone of Zack's random cheek banners. Yeah, the remakes don't fix everything. As well.
Wait, wouldn't it change the design fundamentally? Even though I don't know it's the bandage in script, so
I don't know
technically.
Yeah, I know about fundamentally, it would be a visible difference because it is right on the face, and that's draws the attention of the viewer. But I wouldn't say fundamentally.
He has a he has a wound there from
Now
like
he's playing
especially.
into it. now Josh is playing into it.
How dare you, Ree?
Oh Lord.
Look
Sorry,
at
you were
the
saying
Albanese.
about,
He's so cool with his like gray eyes, his beautiful eye shape, his like scarf. You know,
we have talked about the design of Diogenes like in the past, like in the first ever Full Names review, I think. Which was
I didn't know we were basing him off a real person.
Yes,
so,
there we go. That was the thing. Yeah,
I didn't know that at the time. Apparently, but he's beautiful. Okay, honestly, if I actually ended up switching Zack's and Diogenes' design when I was making the original episode, that actually would be pretty. If I knew at the time,
it would be closer. It would be closer to because I guess Zack does look more like the traditional Diogenes than Diogenes, but yeah, I guess minus the beard. I'm pretty sure Diogenes had like a massive beard.
Yeah,
anyway, doesn't.
I don't know. He could shave a beard. He could shave a beard. It's not hard.
Yeah, I forget if Diogenes actually appeared in the first episode or not.
No, his introduction was episode 2.
Yeah, I was going to say
Diogenes was designed around the time of episode 1, though.
Oh, okay.
Because like episode 1 and 2 were written around the same time period, so I knew at least Diogenes was coming in. So I made Gacha designs and like, okay, this is Zack, this is Diogenes, these are my OCs. These are my OCs.
It's like that's every Gacha tuber ever. Absolutely. Okay. Oh yeah. What I was going to say before this. So yeah, the flying speed is still far improved. But if anyone remembers that there was I think it was also one of the KW reactions, but I could be wrong. It was a thing where someone pointed out that the wing flap sound effects don't play off too well when the wings are static as someone is flying in. So that's the minor flaw that I have with this, where you can hear. Did I went back too much? And then nothing's happening. But yeah, still, so definitely much better. I would also if I had done this scene, I probably would have had him like flying in while Zack is saying his line, so that way that he's already in position, and you do always get the studio at the same time. But you know, either that's preference. The only real issue is the static wings. Come on, Zack, have you heard the saying? It's got to rip it off like a bandage, quite literal in this scene. That is very much what happened in in Phoenix Drop High at one point. Like Aphmau does just like tear off Aaron's bandage.
Well, I
Off
know,
his face.
no, she did that. It technically was Phoenix Drop High, but she did it in a wolf's tail. So it is
Okay.
technically Phoenix Drop High, but it's not mainline Phoenix Drop High. That was only
All right, fine.
in
Yeah.
that
At the
weird
time of
spin-off
Phoenix Drop High.
miniseries.
Yeah. Okay then. I guess also, you know, again, speaking of classic things that we've talked about in old Gacha reviews, in the very first Gacha review I ever did, I pointed this out. Gacha as a whole, like all the lines for the games, have this issue where once you like rotate the characters around, because it mirrors the image, what like accessories that are on one person's side of their head go to the other. And in the case of the bandage, you could also say that would draw us attention because it does switch from the side of his face depending on which way he is facing. But that is the same issue with something like a hair accessory, you know, or whatever. So again, the Gacha brain tunes these things out. But if we're talking about fundamental changes, then it's worth mentioning.
Think so.
Oh, it's you. Yes, he is switched.
Yeah, I need to know where Adam is.
I don't know.
You've seen him, didn't you?
I love the anime faces. I love these. Like whenever I do anime faces, I love doing them. They're so fun.
Yeah, you did say that that's the biggest thing that you would miss from Gacha Club if you were to move permanently to Gacha Life 2.
Yeah, because like again, the Mrs. Dicer show, I don't really do too many anime faces because it's kind of a hassle to do any form of anime faces just casually.
Yeah, there is a way, and I can think of a way right now, but it is more tedious than just being able to do it in the main game itself.
Yeah, because like I can just click these anime faces whenever. Like I actually used a handful of anime faces during one of my Mutant Girl scenes for the next episode. There like Pop used a lot of them because you know, Pop is Pop.
Of course, yeah. Yes.
Where did you meet him?
Why should I tell you?
Kurt killed Carrie.
Who?
My second in command.
Zach is
I will
just
never-
like, who is that? Who are these people? I don't understand. I'm not keeping track of all this stuff. I was like,
I will never not think of the scene from Guardians of the Galaxy where Star-Lord says his name for the first time, and the guy who's fighting it just goes, "Who?" Because it's like, yeah, of course. How is I supposed to know about this? But also just funny because like Carrie's such a nothing character that like any then like unintentional reference to the fact that she was just inconsequential. It's perfect.
Zach's jacket's like a teal, I think. Like a teal. I think cyan, actually. It probably leans more on the cyan side. Cyan coloration.
Yeah, I think so. I forget the exact thing. You know, this was Jay's territory. And it very
My
clear distinction of what teal
closest
was.
friend. She's been on the run for 73 years. I suppose they finally caught up to her.
My condolences to you, but I fail to see how this has anything to do with Adam.
Carrie's
Alright,
got
so this is just
73.
a thing about like Zach's design. I really like the way like the purple of his eyes and shirt match with the jacket, though. I think those two colors actually work really well together.
Yeah. And normally I would once again highlight the convenience of finding a shirt that like matches your eyes, but then again, Fallen Angels, I'm pretty sure if they can morph their appearances, they can morph their clothing.
Yeah.
Years. Adam has had 2 months. Do you think he'll last
Just ignore the fact that Adam had a whole montage of buying clothes in episode 2, but you know.
alone? I mean, he most likely has that human girl with him, so he'll have to slow down. Get her food, go to public areas where he could be caught. Are you willing to let your friend die like that?
Yeah, this is where I probably would have had like a close up on just Alges and just Zack, left and right justified shots. Light, and probably closed his eyes at the same time as he's like doing a sigh. I will say, like, as far as like Zack's facial expressions go in this scene, this might be just a personal thing for me, obviously, because when I was recording the lines, I had to like imagine like the interactions and also when writing them too, because I'm pretty sure that most of this scene was actually written by me originally. There was tweaks to it originally by me. So I remember that because Zack is, not overly fond of the doubters, and probably to some extent possibly blames them for like Adam's point of view at this point. He's like cordial with Diogenes because he hasn't done anything wrong to him, but he's not exactly fond of him. It's like, my condolences to you, but can we get on topic, please? Like that kind of thing. It's like, I'm gonna show you politeness, but and in the facial expressions, it does seem like he is just like generally concerned, and then afterwards, in this point where he's got to react to everything that Dodgy's just said, because he doesn't change too much in the face while that's going on. I would have definitely like at the very least like cut out that part, and that's why I mentioned the zoom in on or the close up on both of them for this one. Nation Park, but I don't know when he's going to be there.
Thank you.
You better keep him safe. Like this, yeah, do this. Safe, or you will be the next casualty.
You have my word.
And yeah, of course, because I've got to get that stern line. That's why he says that. Also, I've just realized something. Aidan's broken one of his what used to be fundamental rules.
What?
The wings are overlapping each other.
Oh no, they're able to overlap each other a little bit. It's just the wings are never. I don't like the wings to overlap the bodies of the characters. Like if I moved Diogenes over and covered part of Zack's shirt or jacket, it's like I try to avoid that as much as humanly possible. That's why I like, even just in regular scenes, sometimes I'll just hide some of the angels' wings, especially if there are a few angels in a scene. I'm like, yeah, you all have wings and they're all huge. I can't have them all out at once, so, some of these wings are going to not be showing for this one scene. No.
Yeah, I can...
It clutters the screen up way too much, in general.
Yeah.
It clutters everything up, so,
More just as a thing in Gacha, I like the scarf that what's his face wears, and how that name is spelled. Well, I'll put I'll put the spelling in the chat, but also, you could just do what Adam did in the first episode and call him the Cynic because he couldn't pronounce his name. I think that was also because like Aidan at the time also couldn't pronounce the name.
Yeah, I really like Diogenes' design though, because like the kind of blue I went for him is like actually kind of nice, and like he has like a little scarf. Jacket around his waist, which in this case, the jacket around his waist works because he's not wearing a jacket already. Because I hate when I see some people use this exact jacket prop around someone's waist when they're already wearing a jacket. Like, come on, man! Did you forget that they were already in a jacket? It's like,
that's a fashion choice that we can both agree on, for the sense of practicality and also aesthetics.
Like what did they go to school wearing two jackets? It's like, oh yeah, I just wanted to wear both my jackets to school. No big deal.
In case you lose one of them. Yeah.
Adam will be safe.
So, how did you sleep?
Why do you care?
Because I care about you.
I tried to kill you.
So, I see good in you.
Okay, it's gonna be I'm just gonna
choppy
rewind
now
this because it's
why is it getting choppy?
It's synced up. Yeah, because I all I did was take out my my charger cable. I put it back in now, so like, oh, that's weird. I didn't think that had a correlation. But anyway, the video also was a bit out of sync, so I rewound it for that reason.
I tried to kill you.
And it's still out of sync. Okay, I'm gonna run a bit further.
So, how did you sleep?
No, and it's still out of sync. We're gonna run a bit further.
So, how did you sleep?
Why?
No, we're just gonna re-import the video.
What? Okay. It's like, dang. It's been a process.
Yeah, apparently word of advice is to keep the charger in. That apparently means something. Nope, not there. Not here either.
Rewind a little bit more. Yeah. Okay. Here.
Basically there. Basically
Salty
there. Yeah.
cell looked away in cabin.
There we go, that's better.
So, how did you?
And that's the benefit of having sound effects in the video, by the way, to any other gacha tubers, is that you actually, when there's issues and you know it's like, huh, she only just started making sounds now, why is that?
Wait,
Why do you care?
because I care about you.
I tried to kill you.
So,
Is she supposed to be, like, tied up there or something? Because otherwise, like, would she be, like, on the floor?
She's bound, sort of. There's probably around her ankle. There's like a handcuff to the bed.
Okay.
Yeah.
Alright.
There's a light rope. You just can't see it, Avi.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, that's why. That's why it's just me.
Good grief, it's, I never thought I'd say this, but Taming the Bad Boy pulled this off better.
What? Listen, okay. I need her to at least emote a little bit.
This is true, and I guess to some extent you would have to, like, reposition the rope every single time if you were to do that.
Yeah,
So,
or just
yeah,
have her be in one pose the whole time, which kind of lame. Kind of lame. Not really the greatest.
Yeah. No, just the reason I bring this up is because, like, you know, Alana's just asked her how she slept last night, and meanwhile there's 4 beds behind her that she's apparently unable to use. So probably not well for that reason as well.
No, you see, they tie her to the bed at night, and that's what happens at night.
Okay, they could at least tie her to the head of the bed rather than like the legs, because then you can't. It's like, oh well, good night, everyone.
They move her, okay? They move her at night. It's fine. Adam's strong. He's a strong boy.
Okay, sure. I mean, for the sake of, it's like, oh well, it's daytime. We're gonna put you on the floor again. That raises further questions.
The floor is where you belong, Helen. Get on the floor.
Oh no! This really is taming the bad boy.
Taming the bad girl. Confirmed.
Yeah. Referring to the thing about the angel wings, I think that's funny if it's mentioned a bit, like if a wing gets in someone's face, it's funny if that person then coughs out a feather. Yeah. It's like, don't worry, Adam, we'll be by your side the whole time. Yeah. I can imagine that.
I see good in you.
Look, just leave me alone.
But, you know what? Fine.
Well, a little bit of the still, you know, as much as Zack will never have green screens ever again. Alana's still gonna have the eyes thing.
Yeah.
I will say one.
Yeah.
Yeah. One positive about this, well, this episode in general as well, is that I've seen that in the original, of course, whenever there was
There's no
like a
keyframe walking.
Well, kind of.
There's no keyframe walking in the original. It was all me manually moving them.
Oh gosh.
Screenshot walking.
Oh my. Okay. I thought you would like stop that process by episode 3. Okay. Then.
No, I stopped that process mid episode 8.
God, that explains so much. That explains a lot. Okay, that's not what I was gonna say. I was gonna say that in this episode you have like some like solid mouths rather than just having the animated mouth as they're sighing or, you know, whatever. That's not just in this scene. That was a thing also with Zack previously. But whereas in the original, of course, it was all just like, you know.
Yes.
And also, you didn't have the sound effects pack with all the different, you know, footsteps
Yes.
or different surfaces.
Also, since this is in the era where I actually have a whole like folder full of Fallen Angels theme music, like a full Fallen Angels soundtrack, the music is a lot more consistent with the other episodes and the modern episodes. So consistent music.
I suppose, yeah. I do love the fact that like Adam was just like standing here doing nothing, and then as soon as like Alana got into position, this is what I mean when I say like school play staging happens sometimes. It's very
Well,
rare in like, the modern
Okay,
versions.
so
but,
what happened before this was Alana said she was going to go in the cabin. Adam was like, maybe I should go with you. And then she's like, Adam, I got this, and walked off. And was like, okay, I guess we'll wait
Yeah,
here.
it's like, oh, all right, Adam, I've got this. Don't move. Okay, I guess I'll. Makes you wonder. Range of wings tough to maintain. Actually, how do birds clean their wings? That's something you have to look up.
They're kind of made out of magic, so they automatically clean themselves. Sort
Yeah,
of.
if I had to guess how birds clean their wings, I imagine it's like they just clean themselves while they're soaring through the air. It's like a whole. It's like it's a proper like. It's an extreme blow dry.
You see
Or
the
dry
wing
clean.
the wings automatically clean because like when dirt tries to get on the wings, like the magic of the wings like vaporizes it.
Yeah, I mean, the angels have like a semi-physical form, I suppose. They can make themselves tangible in these cases, but yeah, for the most part. Usually, I think whenever like the angels are in their solid forms, they don't tend to show their wings. They can, but I think
Yeah.
I have to look back at the episodes and really look into that detail. Birds maintain good feathers by preening and also by bathing in dust and/or water. Okay.
Well, they don't do that, so just so you know, angels do not do that.
they don't bathe in dust.
No, they definitely don't bathe in dust. God. Adam's like, I gotta bathe in dust to clean my wings. I got my mouth.
Yeah, no, it's just like the anime trope where it's like hey, is there anyone in here? Get out! Ah! It's like you can't see what this like. I don't know what I saw. Anyway.
Ellen
Yeah.
told you. It's been a week, and she's so stubborn. I don't think she'll change.
She will. She opened up to me.
Those could have been lies.
She felt like she was being honest.
I don't trust her. Stubborn people don't change easily. Trust me, I know a thing or two about that.
I don't trust her either, but I'm giving her a chance.
I guess. Just be careful.
I will.
Oh.
Adam, are you okay?
Yeah, I've been getting these.
Oh yeah, another original comparison. Mainly this episode, but also some other ones. Whenever Adam would have his headaches, it would just be a case of him going like, like just face palming, which in this instance could have read as him face palming at Alana, being like, oh god, okay, fine, keep trying to convince her, whatever, do whatever you want. But no, in this case now you've made it clear because, yeah. Good old voice acting Foley.
To be fair though, sometimes when I'm in pain, I don't even verbally say anything at any point. Like the other day, my stomach hurt really bad, and like I literally just like took a knee on the chair and put my head on the chair headrest or whatever, and just sat there for a moment. It was like just in pain, like just like not saying anything, waiting for pain to pass.
I mean, that's fine, but most of the time, if people get like a sudden and severe pain, they will react verbally to some degree.
I don't react verbally too often.
Well, I imagine that stomach pain was consistent, so it wasn't like you would be like be there the whole time going, oh, that'd be too much. Yeah. So, but like if someone had like, I don't know, like punched you in the stomach, for example, you probably would have gone like, "Pow!" or something like that, potentially.
It's headaches for the last few hours.
What do you think it is?
I don't know. This is weird, even for angels.
Oh.
I know a guy I could ask.
Who?
Zack.
I remember him. Didn't I see him once?
Yeah, at the beach. He was the one with the gray hair and buzz cut.
Yeah, still would feel like, yeah, at the beach would be the final sentence. But yeah, there he is, piled amongst piled back from being blocked partially by Helen because I made this scene, and I do tend to, you know, avoid the bus queue.
Are you sure we can trust him?
Yes, we may disagree on what's right, but he's my best friend. He's had plenty of chances to bring me in, or even lure me into a trap.
Okay, just be careful with him.
You sound like me just now.
Yeah, like, again, I was gonna say, like, okay, someone please say it, someone please say it. Okay, fine, they said it.
Yeah.
Because, yeah, for sometimes these two don't realize how much they, like, mirror each other as far as, like, you know, advising against, like, mistrusting others. To Adam's credit, of course, he's known Zack for centuries versus Alana, who met Helen recently when she, like, came up to her in a shop. So, but it like, ideologically it's the same, so that's... And we make a much clearer commentary on that in a later episode. But for now, yeah, it's just a little bit of like, okay, they're at least acknowledging tiny bits. That's all you need. So Adam's wings do look. Hold on, they look slightly grey.
She's talking about the
Well, yeah, at the
undercut of the
bottom.
wings.
Yeah. Not like
It's only meant to be. Technically, normally it's meant to be one shade darker, but I guess when I designed Adam originally, I accidentally made it 2 shades darker than the original color. So you know, oops.
Yeah. Are you allowed to join? You are, but
Yes.
bear in mind, considering that you normally watch Fallen Angels like on your own channel, do you want to do that here? Because that will mean that that will compromise your reaction for your version. That's my only concern. But yeah, I'll definitely send an invite.
I mean, she always just invite a guest or two as well and have them be the primary new reaction.
That's also true, yeah. Yeah, I should invite Junior back, for example. What? Oh, okay, there we go. Let's say.
I don't really want to watch.
Recently.
Oh, she said she doesn't really want to watch remakes, which makes sense.
No, so I don't really watch remakes. Well, I mean, I guess like after already watching the previous the original version, because I mean with her Fallen Angels series, she did actually start off by watching the remakes versus the originals. So it's more of a case of like, you know, watching the same video twice in different ways.
I don't know. I mean, I think the remakes versus the originals, you can still get some value out of the original as well as the remakes.
I mean, here we are comparing the two of them, of course.
I mean, you know, the original's still worth watching if you want to see how it originally looked or sounded, you know.
That is, yeah, I was gonna say, at some point, I wonder if I've encouraged KW to look at episode 1 original, like not go through all the originals, but just episode 1, just to see how everything started off, because that would be probably like, that'd be a pretty funny video. But anyway, let's.
The original pilot of the series was really rough. It had some good ideas.
Yeah.
The script was decent. But yeah, the original pilot was so rough compared to, you know, the any remakes or any future episode. Like the pilot's probably the roughest episode here.
I don't really remember much of season 1 because it's been a long while. But
wow.
Wow. With no offense, I usually watch a Gacha series once and stuff like that, and if I have like a favorite episode, then I would just rewatch it a bunch of times, and that is it. But
does that mean if you watch the Mutant Girl now on your channel, then you remember everything that happened, so it'll be like it's fresh sometimes?
Yeah, basically.
All right.
So
just nudge, nudge, wink, wink.
Yeah, I am playing sometime this week since headaches are gone. Woo! Anyways.
All right.
My question is, why are the sleeves on my teenage jacket? Like, I get it if the sleeves are supposed to be like a shirt and everything like that, but I just like the sleeves.
Oh no,
they're slightly darker than the.
No, the sleeves are a part of the shirt.
Adam
was wearing like a sweater there, and he's actually just wearing a vest, a sleeveless vest. That's why.
A sweater and a vest. That is
yeah.
A decision.
Adam is a fashion icon, as we can tell.
To his credit, he most likely didn't know when he chose the outfit, because that was the whole fish out of water episode where he was
Yeah.
getting himself clothes.
Yeah. I no wonder I really don't remember the season 1 because of Adam's design. It's just I'm sorry.
Adam's season 1 outfit, I would have probably adjusted colors a little bit. Like the stripe is a very different blue from the rest of the thing. I probably would have.
I would have get rid of vest, hands down.
Nah, I mean I like the vest. Like I'm
I
not
know,
just
I'm
thinking about
sorry.
bringing back a vest for Adam. Granted, I think his original design with the primary white with the blue jacket vest thing, like the original design he had in the pilot and like the bit of
What
the
is
second
design in
episode,
season 2?
like I think that was a bit stronger of a color palette. I mean, granted, the brown
removing
pants
this
are pretty
vest probably
great.
would have given him a bit more of a, a bit more distinguished from his original look. 'Cause that was one of my first complaints with Fallen Angels, was the fact that his disguised human form looks very similar to his fashion as an angel.
I think season 2 outfit of
I mean, season
it's
2
a lot
outfit
better.
is a bit stronger, but again, that was also designed like.
Because the vest is gone, which is like good.
Well, that
Good
was designed.
riddance.
Well, that was designed after like again, like a year and a half, 2 years of Gacha at that point. So like the season 2 design had a lot more experience with designing character design. So
Adam's vest didn't survive the Abraxas attack.
Yeah, I just.
well, Adam's clothes kind of got mostly shredded or damaged in the final fight of season 1. So season 2. That's the main reason why he changed outfits.
Yeah,
Although
say,
probably will
like,
bring back a
terrible.
vest eventually. Maybe
No,
a different style vest, but
no,
it's still a vest.
No.
If you do decide to bring back the
vest.
vest, I suggest, getting rid of the sweater, for example. Cause
Oh
that
no,
will
the
balance
sweaters
it
are
out.
coming back. Obviously, this is gonna be a different vest and different whatever t-shirt or something, whatever I have under it.
Yeah.
But like he's
no, don't bring back the vest, man.
he's got fashion. Okay, he's a fashion.
He's
icon.
not fat. I'm sorry. He's not.
I feel like
fat.
somebody trying human clothes for the first time, like in the modern day, should not be labeled as a fashion icon.
Yes.
Nah, he's totally fashionable.
And I mean, Alana's outfit is a little bit better than the only thing I don't really like is the socks with the sandals, but whatever.
Listen, socks and sandals. Listen, Alana's also a fashion icon with her socks and sandals. People don't like the socks and sandals.
She has less of an excuse.
Look, okay.
No, okay. Here's the thing, though. Where does this take place again? Where does this take place again? Florida, right?
No. This is Canada. This ain't Florida. Excuse me. That's the music location.
Yeah, she's got high socks because it's cold all the time.
Yeah, and in the case
I would have changed the shoes if you wanted to keep the socks. I'm just saying.
In the case of Alana, the main reason why she has those socks is she's kind of a kid at heart. She's got that energy. She's got the innocence.
Fine, I just would have choose different shoes. Not some those big shoes, just one of those other tiny ones that would be much preferable.
Nah, she got that color. She's also very colorful, which I will say that makes it hard to green screen her because I can't. If she didn't have blue pants, I could blue screen her. I can't red screen her because of her hair. I can't purple screen her because of the bow and the part of the sandals.
Have you tried yellow screening?
And I can't yellow screen her because then I have to edit the mask because it makes her skin look weird because her skin has partial yellows in it.
What?
That's the thing that happens sometimes. It is a thing you can adjust on different thresholds sometimes.
Shortcut, that's why, because you're not shortcut.
Well,
right?
But even in Premiere, it's still like that. It's just like that in general. It's kind of a pain.
I use CapCut.
Alana's a lot of colors, basically.
You should try CapCut because it's amazing for gacha videos. Come on,
I mean, Premiere Pro is a better editing software, so.
No, it's not. No, CapCut.
It really is. It's
no CapCut.
It's considered professional. What are you talking about? I'm literally using a professional editing software, or considered professional at least. God. Oh, the professional one isn't good. Isn't good enough. You got to use the non-considered professional one, obviously.
Well, I mean, again, at some point, I really want to do like a series where I just like test out different gacha editing programs. Honestly, maybe I'll just like give myself like 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 those like short like dialogue scenes you get in drama class sometimes where you just like rehearse them in a pair. Yeah, I might do one of those where it's just like, okay, I'm gonna recreate this exact same scene using these different softwares, and then talk about them. Yeah, I want to do that at some point.
I
For the prequels,
tried
obviously.
using Shotcut when it was like giving me like do any softwares, and then when I go to Capcom, it's like, yeah, Capcom's a lot more better because like Shotcut, you had to do like, oh, you had to click this to do one tiny thing, and if you want to change it slightly, then you have to go do all this other like buttons and such. While just Capcom, you're just like, okay, load up the file. Here are many options you can do with just one click, and you're done.
Well, that's the thing of video editors, though. Whenever you switch a new one, you gotta like learn new button inputs and how to do it.
Yeah, but
that's why when I
but
tried
I
DaVinci
prefer-
Resolve, I was like, yeah, no, I can't do this. Not because DaVinci Resolve is bad, just because I myself had been using Vegas.
It just takes ages to learn a new editing software. Like
I've been using Vegas for like 7 years at that point.
Like it took me ages to learn Premiere properly, but now I'm really good at Premiere.
You're talking to someone who had used other two editors for many years, and when she downloaded CapCut, it was like so easy.
Most likely CapCut is closer to a mobile editor, so that's probably why it's easiest for you because
No,
editing on mobile. Right?
It's not because I use it on mobile. I have used PC editors before. I have used Wondershare and Movie Maker, and there was another one.
Oh, I tried using Movie Maker once. Couldn't figure it out. It was horrible.
I used Movie Maker before Vegas, actually. That was the one. That was the one that I.
If you're using Movie Maker like now, like years later in the future, then yeah, it's kind of bad. When it was like in like.
When we had no other choice.
Literally.
There were so many other like YouTubers back in the day, again, myself included, like, 2014, 2015, Jacob, yeah, Movie Maker all the way, pretty much.
Literally, because it was like the best thing, especially when you're making Star Stable videos, like at my age.
Yeah, but that's the equivalent of saying that, that's the equivalent of saying Gacha Studio was the best Luname game in the year 2018. Like, no, in the year 2017. Yeah, it's kind of like, well, what are you comparing it to?
And then we upgraded to Wondershare, which was even better, and that was like more considered a professional editor. But now you have to do like, oh, you have to pay him monthly and stuff like that. So I was like, okay, I'll just find a free editor where I don't have to pay monthly. And then when I found CapCut on PC, I was like, this is perfect. This is what I need. Because here's the thing, I don't like doing crazy edits. Like, like every time I see like videos that have like so many like jump edits and subtitles and all these like crazy edits, I'm just like, ew, just ew. I like simple edits. Like only edit when you need to edit. If that makes sense.
I'm just gonna casually stare at the wall for no reason right now.
What? No, I meant like
it's like I just showed Aidan today. He's like, hey, look at what I've done with this mirror reflections and back-facing characters.
Oh.
I do get the appeal behind simplicity. I'm just memeing.
No, like here's it, like Mutant Girl and like Secret of the Plex and like Fallen Angels. Like I like those kind of edits only because it's not like over the top crazy edits, And so when I see like over crazy the top edits, I'm just like, why? Just why?
Because I don't know.
Yeah.
If you say algorithm, don't.
What?
Yeah, I think I found like a happy medium between having like feeling pressure to jump into tweening animation, for example, or live 2D, because the live 2D like fashion from back in the day, for example, I missed entirely on purpose. Versus like so now it's like, okay, I've been able to show an evolution on an editing journey, but still making things feel like they were made in gacha as they were.
Jacob, we should do a stream series on your channel now. Trying to learn live 2D. I want to see if we could do that
Okay.
as a skill. As a skill, listen, I would love to try to learn something like that.
I mean, only if you guys want to. I don't think you guys should feel pressured to do that.
Yeah,
No,
that's
just
what I mean.
as a skill in the thing, just in case.
Not that I'm saying the Mean Girl should become fully animated because Rosie Close even regrets doing that for the Music Freak. So yeah,
I've had that recommendation from some people, not from you, Aidan, but from others.
No.
You do 20 and I do this, something like that. Me over here.
I mean,
stop animation.
I just want to learn how to do it, just to occasionally pull it out for certain scenes or shots. That's all I want. I just want to be able to do it, just in case. Because it'd be kind of nice to pull it out every once in a while for like a random scene, being like, "Oh, this scene's like ultra dramatic. Time to tween a little bit.
Time to tween this handful of shots.
Yeah. I mean, like,
Time to animate the eyes.
When I decided to go back to basic, where it's like, I don't need voice acting right now or anything like that, nothing to stress me out. Oh my god, it's been fun going back to basics. So like when I don't have to find like moving mouse and stuff like that. Because like, I'm gonna be honest, if you're gonna do stop motion, I don't think you need to use the moving mouse because it's like it's stop animation. Like
I mean, to me, using non-moving mouse ends up being a lot more stressful because then I end up going in the editing software and going, okay, out of these like I don't know 20-something mouths on this page, any of these work for this one specific line? You know, because then I'm like, okay, I want this to be at least a little bit animated, so I at least have to change the mouth for this like one, I don't know, 6-second line. I want to change the mouth 2 to 3 times. And most mouths are hyper exaggerated, therefore I don't want everyone to look like they're like some like weird ultra hyperactive thing when they're saying something very basic. Like
most of the mouths being hyper exaggerated can actually work to your advantage in certain situations. Like in the People Above, for example, because you know we were trying to do that exclusively like purely in Gacha Life 2, and there are no moving mouths there right now. I just I was doing static mouths for basically the first time. Because the only other time I haven't used moving mouths would have been like the music videos from like before Music Girls started.
But I mean, like with
those were where characters didn't talk, so that didn't count for me.
I mean,
so
when it comes to the People Above, some of the exaggerated mouths work for characters like Emil. Because Emil is a very exaggerated character in
and
Moesha.
also for certain lines, but it means that because there are so few ones to choose from, you then realize like, okay, so these ones will apply for this particular thing. And because I'm so used to changing moving mouths when people are like in the middle of lines anyway, because I do that a bit more than you do, then you know it was a somewhat natural transition, but it still felt like something was missing when the at the end.
Because like I don't ever want like any of my shows to feel like it's a weird Gacha slideshow or whatever. It's like, okay, guys, time to move to the next slide after we finish that 10-second line.
You don't want to make it look like epithet erased.
Well, Aidan, you're doing
a show. It ends up being a major issue because I'm like, okay, I need to make sure I'm constantly these characters are emoting somewhat, so they're actually not completely static and feeling like a bunch of screenshots just sitting on a page, because that could get very bad.
Well, Aidan, you're doing a voice acting series, so you have a different situation. I'm talking about when I'm not doing it.
Even non-voice acted, you still have to have the character somewhat emote because you don't have the voices to emote for yourself, so you have to use the body motions and the mouth to emote.
Yeah, which I like the most. Like, I like seeing body language and stuff like that, and seeing the character's expression without having to use.
Gacha was more designed to do that. In all fairness,
like, because here's the thing, like as much as I do really enjoy voice acting, it can be hard to try to match with the voice with like the moving lips and stuff like that. You know, like especially when the Zelda movie came out, like there's like retakes I should have done and stuff like that, you know, but it was just like, it's whatever. This movie was already complicated from the get-go because trying to get the voice lines done and animations done and stuff like that, you know, trying to get it done in time before 2024 and stuff like that. So like me going back,
been there, yep.
Yeah, so it's like me going back to doing something that's not voice acted it's like really fresh and like, oh my god, I can actually do like body language, you know, don't have to use the movie mouse and stuff like that, you know, every move them once in a while, you know, to show that they're expressive, stuff like that. Like showing like their characters' personalities. It's so much fun because I just get to learn more about the character's personality by not having it voice acted.
I mean, I could see that, but I don't know. I still think the moving mouths, there are a lot of emoting in it. You have like the laughter, the yelling one. You have like the kind of sad, just regular talking one. You have like the average, like circular one talking.
He just
You have
looked
like
weird
the
to
meek,
me,
the
not gonna
meek
lie.
one. You have like the small happy one where it's like slight joy, and then you have like the super happy one. I've
When
categorized
they're
all these
paired-
mentally.
Yeah, when they're paired with other aspects of the facial expression, you know, it's not just by themselves. When they're paired with things, then yes, they are a little bit more like encompassing than some of the static mouths, which are very specific. That was the thing about from people above. The static mouths usually work for like one particular thing, and if someone's like going through a range of emotions, they're a bit more difficult to pull off sometimes. So that's the issue for me. But again, you know, it's
Yeah,
But
and it's
I guess
also- and it's
ultimately,
also my-
the other reason to move the mouse that will be more complicated for someone editing is that way you can't go back into screenshot mode because you have to actually use screen records at that point. And some people, that's a bit more complicated setup for them.
Yeah, it's
I
also
will-
just because also like when you're trying to use the movie mouse and then once you like finish and then like you realize like the line is a little bit shorter than you realize, you have to figure out how to make sure like the mouth is at a closing point so it looks like they're closing it and not just suddenly like moving their mouth and then their mouth closed when it's like wide open. Like that's also like a struggle for like the Zelda movie. Like I just, oh my god, I hated it so much. Just like, oh my god, when is the mouth close? Come on. Oh, is it? No, I have to restart. No. Without the movie
I don't really
mouth.
I don't personally tend to worry about like when the mouth closes or not with animation because like even if the mouth is wide open, like you're still gonna have the mouth closed when the next line hits. And if you mix
the advantage of
if
the
you mix
gacha moving mouse is the fact they move so fast that a lot of the issue people have around like, you know, lip syncing don't apply usually. That's why I used to clown on lip syncing so much when it was again it was during the same year of the
Oh
Live
my
2D
God, the
uprising.
lip-syncing.
Yeah,
The
it was like that's like okay,
lip syncing
sure,
is too
you can do that.
tiring.
Yes, like you can do that if you want, but the thing is, you really, really do not need to.
I
Like,
really want
God.
to make sure at least is close to like what the mouth is doing, so that way like so that way it's not like too much far off, you know. So like if it's
My
a little,
biggest
then
issue, I
it's,
guess,
like,
is like if you know, dramatic pauses, or if there's somebody who has like a closed mouth thing for some time. If someone does like emphasis like it's like
literally,
yeah, like that kind of
literally.
thing. Yeah, then that's when they apply closed mouth. In fact, in this episode alone, we talked about that a little bit previously. So yes, there's some of the time where it's like, well, if someone's been like, well, what do you think, Morwenna? Like that would be a bit weird in moving mouth form if that was just exclusively like that. But
I just really prefer like not moving mouths at all for my stuff. It's just so much easier, very expressive and stuff like that, especially for the Yu-Gi-Oh series. It's like I don't really need moving mouths for this. Like why do I need it? And it's just been so much fun.
Fair enough.
well, okay then.
Anyways, I'm probably gotta leave around 5:30, so we should probably watch more of the episode. So
I was gonna go into the chat, but yeah, we'll do that later then.
I can read really fast. Referring to the thing about crazy effects and any cost, synthesize spots, clear, so I said nothing. Haha, very funny. Talking about slideshow thing, yeah, I don't think anyone wants their thing to look like a slideshow like the Lost Angel Princess series.
Very specific, but yes.
Guess so. At least we've got each other's backs.
Absolutely. I'm going to usual place we meet.
Alright.
Also, shoot, how would that gonna give you if she tries to kill you?
Adam gave her a gun. We never hear about the gun again, but she canonically there is a gun in the cabin, or well, on Lana in this case because leaving it in the cabin's irresponsible. But there is Adam teleported to America to get a gun.
Oh, you gave me flats about Anna having a gun. Now you're telling me Alana has one? What? I don't.
What? I didn't say Adam. Wait, are you? I don't know.
That might be more aimed at me because that was the thing that I pointed out in my episode 4 when like Anna randomly pulls out a firearm out of nowhere.
Okay, yeah, but to be fair, with Adam, he could teleport, so he literally just teleport to a gun store, steal a gun, and leave. I'm gonna be honest, he can just steal. He's really, or he can buy a gun store too.
Yeah, I was gonna say
You
you buy the gun
He
store.
can buy the gun store, and then.
How do we know that she didn't steal it from her dad at some point?
Well, to be fair, that wasn't explained. If it was explained, that's one thing, but that wasn't properly explained. And assuming that she took it from her dad's kind of a weird assumption. Because, like, at least with most gun safety.
Oh right, we're talking about Anna. So I think about Alana's like, what dad? No, okay, fine, we're talking about Anna then. All right.
Yeah, no, but like, no, with people owning a gun, they should be putting it in a safe. I mean, granted, her dad isn't a great person, but like, he still should be putting it in a safe for gun, you know. But yeah, no.
Aidan, we don't put guns in like a safe.
Yes, you do. That is gun safety. What do you mean? That's literally, if you own any form of a firearm, it has to be in a locked safe. Why? Don't leave a gun out in the
like
open.
one of those like secret coded safes. Yes, we need to put it somewhere away safely so we don't touch it or anything like that, especially like little kids and stuff. But we don't have like a vault or like a safe. You
May I
know,
remind both of you that you live in different states, and one of those states is Texas.
Yeah, well, you know, I don't care if someone lives in Timbuktu. It's irresponsible to not have a gun in a locked safe because, let me remind you, children are crafty. They will see something shiny on the top shelf and find a way to get it. Do not underestimate children.
I didn't say.
Okay, what if you don't have kids in the house?
Still irresponsible because, you know, if anyone breaks into your house, they can literally take your gun.
I think Aidan doesn't understand that not everyone just rich and have like fancy stuff. Like,
I don't care if you have fancy stuff. If you own a gun, you should be smart and not have it out in the open or have
We
it.
ain't got no fancy smancy safes. This is Texas.
We
don't have it out in the open. Hey, I never said like the webs are out in the open. We just don't have like a safe. What are you even on about?
My dad literally has like a pocket safe, like a safe that only really like fits like his wallet. And,
Okay,
like,
what
his
do you
gun.
mean by it's a
Wait,
safe? What do you mean?
That won't fit a gun then. If it only fits a wallet, then you can't like.
No, it's a small. It's a very small safe, but it's.
Okay, what do you mean by safe?
Get out of here, burglars!
What is your description of a safe? I want to know.
A box that locks with a combination on it. What do you mean?
We don't have those for guns.
You should.
No.
I mean, well, I guess it would depend on the gun. Like, I mean, most people, like, if you have, like, a shotgun or something, obviously you're not going to put that in a safe. But, I mean, like, especially talking about pistols or handguns, you know, small guns that can fit in your pocket, you're supposed to put it in, like, a locked compartment with a combination.
I
was going to say lock compartment.
But it's not a safe. We don't put guns in a safe.
Well, it's that was their gun regulations. Well,
Aidan,
I mean,
you just said lock compartments counts. Is that not okay then?
She didn't say it was locked. She said we put it in a compartment.
Oh,
so basically, putting it in an unlocked closet would count by that logic. It's like, don't leave it.
Some of us put it under our beds.
Don't put a gun under your bed. A child can. What do you think children do when they're hiding from their parents? Oh, yeah, I'm gonna go hide from my parents. Ooh, what's this?
Aidan, I didn't say like the gun is loaded or anything like that. That's where we sometimes put it where it is safely away. Especially if it's a parent's room, the parent's room is locked and stuff. Like,
I guess if it's not loaded, then yeah, that makes sense.
I guess, but that's also
literally like my uncle told me guns. No. My uncle told me gun safety, and he brought his guns out and stuff like that, and they were not loaded or anything like that because he was just teaching us about gun safety. I don't know where he put them, and then he just put them away in his room. And guess what? They don't have a safe.
Well, they realistically should. Again.
No, they do not need a safe, Aidan, because, again, You live in a different state than I do. So we have different gun laws.
Okay, but I'm talking about common sense of you should be having in a locked compartment that only you can access, not in an area where if someone gets lucky enough they can find it just lying around. That's
Do you think every time I go to my aunt or uncle's room sometimes just to find my mom, I see a gun? No, because they put it somewhere safe where nobody knows where they are.
okay, but if
You know what? Actually, could I be maybe you've been gaslit. Maybe the guns aren't even in the room in the first place. You've been looking
Right.
at the wrong place the whole
Because at this
time.
point, Aidan's like, they need a safe. They need a vote. They're irresponsible. I'm like, well, I haven't got shot at.
Well,
and
It's straight up in the attic somewhere. It's just collecting
I mean,
dust.
yeah, but I'm just bringing this up just from a gun safety perspective. Like, I should never be able to walk into my parents' room and then just like look around for like 10 to 15 minutes and then find my dad's gun and be like, oh, cool.
Look around, look around.
Like, I shouldn't
wonder
be able
where
to
the
do
guns
that.
are right now.
Do you think I want to find their gun?
Oh
Aidan?
no, I'm not saying you want to, but hypothetically, if you did want to, because again, not everyone is you. Not everyone has good morals towards other people or even themselves. Therefore, having a gun in a non-locked area could potentially lead to
Yeah,
not
there
good
is.
things.
Okay, there is like a threshold. Again, if we go
You
back to
know.
the example of children, I suppose. Like as a child, I
Yeah.
actually would sometimes like have playdates with a friend of mine, and when it was time to leave, we would just like hide in the closet together. And at one point we accidentally turned on, because it was like a cramped space. We accidentally turned on the vacuum cleaner one time, trying to like move it around. So if that could happen, if that wasn't a vacuum cleaner, for example, but that is like extreme example there. That was clearly
I
not.
know,
That would not have been an appropriate thing to do in that situation. So
Yeah.
well
I'm just
hidden.
saying,
Kids do hide in places. However, locked compartments, sealed away, hidden somewhere that's really well hidden. Maybe gaslighting someone to think it's in your room when it actually isn't. Those are all okay examples of things to do,
Oh,
even
this
if they
is
aren't
a
locked
different-
safe specifically.
Oh, this is a different uncle I'm talking about, not spell uncle. Because many uncles. But
I
yeah,
have many
so,
uncles and they all have guns.
no. But anyways,
Every
my
uncle.
the step uncle that taught me like guns, like yes, he's very responsible and make sure that no one can get the guns, Aidan, because
Okay.
people need a freaking safe.
Okay, but say someone were to break into your house and then they're looking for valuables in your house and they
sure,
happen to
they-
find a gun.
Oh sure, they come into my house and they find a Nerf gun. That's literally
Wouldn't
all I have.
Hold on. Wouldn't they like just take the safe? Because if I were looking for valuables in someone's house and I saw that there was a safe, just based on like old movies and whatever, I would think that the valuables are in the safe.
Exactly.
Actually, in the case of at least my dad's safe, you can't really break it. Like it's like actually made out of like steel or something. Like you would really have to like get a really strong hammer to even start to dent it.
And presumably burglars would probably have access to those things, and if they don't have access to them, they would steal them.
They may have access to a gun. What do you have? A knife. I don't know. But again, I just personally find having a gun out in a non-locked, safe, hidden
How do
compartment.
you know if they don't have it somewhere left up safe? It's not. We don't have to need a safe. Yes. Do we need to? Probably should keep it somewhere locked up. Yes. But do we need specifically a safe? No.
Yeah, exactly. There are multiple alternatives, and as long as you pick one of those, and have some common sense about that, then by all means.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's literally my step.
Why are you getting hang up on the fact that I'm using the word safe? Again,
Because
I guess
that's a specific thing.
I guess
that you
I
seem to be
could.
enforcing as the be-all and end-all of ideas.
I guess I could hypothetically be using locked compartment, but that's kind of a mouthful. Like to say locked
Also,
compartment.
you went out of your way to define what a safe was.
Yeah.
a while ago, which means that you very clearly have a view of that. Like that's the only option that is viable.
A
And
safe,
if not,
literally,
it is not the
safe
moral
is
way to
literally
go
just
about
a box that is locked and semi sturdy, and you're not gonna just tap it and it's gonna fall and crumble.
You also
Which would be-
specify combination.
Oh yeah, because
Ideally,
my
some
house is
sort of
made out of
combination.
Oh yeah, because my step uncle's house is made out of like haystack and stuff like that. So when the
I
brother
don't know how rich your uncle is. I mean, 'cause, like, listen, I don't know the wealth of your family.
Okay,
I mean,
yeah, but sure, unless her uncle's catchphrase is not by the hair of my chinny chin chin, that's unlikely.
Yeah. Anyway, we're getting off topic.
Only on Gacha Juice is going for an episode to talk about gun
Gun
and gun safety.
Be careful with guns if small children are in the house at any point, because small children are stupid, or teenagers, are also stupid and may or may, if they do get a hold of it, they could hurt themselves or others. So be careful.
Yes, because me as a teenager will love
Not
to carry
you.
a gun.
Well, I don't know what you were.
I honestly have known plenty of teenagers, that would have very much.
No, yeah, that's fair. But I'm just saying, my family specifically, us as teenagers, yeah, we would love to carry a gun. No,
Guns are scary, man.
Guns are for uncles only.
Exactly.
What? Tara. Okay, dang.
Ghost Kitty says, only on Gacha View can we go from a 400 episode to talk about gun and gun safety. Yeah, you think that with Junior not being here, we wouldn't go down this rabbit hole, or BB for that matter. BB's like the Junior of this channel, but no, it was just us. Okay, continuing.
Yeah, please. I'm gonna say all you give me plus about Anna having a gun. Aidan. Yeah, well, because she's a teenager. Why does she have a gun? Lore!
Why? I mean, I know her dad was abusive, but like, dang, man. Like, did she go to school with a gun? I mean, hopefully she never got caught with that gun, or then
I think,
the police are gonna be
I
called.
believe if I recall, the scene actually does take place right after she comes back from school.
Oh God! Anna, the school
it's been
shooter?
a while. It's been a while. She might have gone up to her room first to get it. I don't remember.
Hopefully she didn't have it at school.
Wait,
that's a concern.
Are you?
Yes, I'm Daganese.
Oh my god!
There it is.
Daganese. Yeah. Okay. Now
Yes,
Daltonese is renamed to Daganese. I can confirm, guys. No.
Diagonally.
I don't get the reference, but yes.
Oh, I forgot he.
Harry Potter.
Okay, and I have a question for you. Did you watch Harry Potter? Because that was in the Harry Potter movies, at least.
Wait, you were in the?
No, that scene, that quote that I just did there was in one of the Harry Potter movies.
Yeah, so I'm asking,
I believe
did you...
I thought you had, because I know that you've
seen bits and pieces. It's been a long time. Okay, it's been like 6 or 7 years at this point since I've seen.
I kind of honestly would
any of
say
them.
you should probably watch them so you at least get the pop culture kind of stuff, and you don't have to read the books. I mean, yes, technically the books are better, but
God, yes.
but the movie, the reason why I say the books are better because one, the movie Wrong, he's definitely a different character in that movie.
I mean, there is if we went to I've considered making a. There's plenty of series that are out there that talk about books versus movies, and yeah, Ron is a specific example, but there are so many other things that the movies did not do justice to, but they did.
Jenny, poor Jenny, she deserved better.
Yeah, okay, yeah, I will talk about this. They increased a lot of they increased Hermione's contribution. Not that she didn't do anything beforehand, she absolutely did, but they increased a lot of stuff to do with her because in their own words they wanted to well, first of all, she was Steve Close's favorite character, Steve Close being the scriptwriter. But also apparently there was a whole rhetoric about wanting to have a strong female character. Meanwhile, what they did to Ginny, who was already kind of what they turned Hermione into in the first place, they decided to reel her back. Hermione was a hybrid of those two characters. But again, plenty of other examples, and we don't need to get into them right now because again, we'll be here all day.
Love your work.
So I've been informed. I've heard a great deal about you as well. Here to talk to the entire society, even to this day.
Well, it's nothing, Wait.
That's why I would have had a little bit more of a sporadic staccato movement from him there, but yeah.
The society. If you're here, does everyone else know where I am?
I love the dot eyes. The dot eyes are great. They're so funny.
See some nice shrunken eyes work.
Just me. I've conversed with your friend Zack.
Wow. Who'd have thought he'd be in contact with the Doubters before me?
Like I said before, Zack does not like the Doubters.
How are they, by the way?
Alas, not well at all. Kurt found us and we lost Carrie, my
She dead.
right-hand woman.
I'm sorry. I know how much of a monster he could be, as does Alana.
Alana? Is that the name of the human you keep in your company?
Why, does everyone just know
Maybe.
she's with me?
It's in line with your actions to take her and keep her safe.
Weirdly enough, I prefer the delivery in the original version. Actually, it's like, why is everyone always she was with me? Like, because this has been a thing we've like emphasized so much before this point. But and I watched KW's reaction back as well. That was one thing that really got her. I was like, it's everyone. I'm also wondering now that I think about the line, I know how much of a monster he can be in relation to Kurt. I wonder how much of a monster Kurt was around his pupils specifically. Like, I wonder what like that would have been like.
I mean, I think it was one of those kind of things in general where it's like, it's like you're kind of passive aggressive a little bit, kind of dismissive, not really nice all the time.
That's not really the same as he killed someone. Like,
Well, also he probably did berate people in front of Adam and Zack, if I'm honest.
okay, sure, but again, passive aggression, murder. There's like a whole spectrum in
Yeah.
there.
You know what? Well, I mean, Adam takes those experiences probably, and then compares them to the murder experience. Also, oh my god. Also, by the way, you do realize they're still an authoritarian society. Therefore,
Yes.
therefore, Kurt has still probably killed people, and Adam probably either knows about it or has possibly seen it. So
That's what I was wondering. That's what I was wondering. How much of that was he privy to? That's what I was saying.
I don't know. I don't know if he's seen a lot. He's probably seen a little bit.
Okay, all right then.
Listen, Kurt's a complicated man. Okay, a complicated.
I don't
man.
think Kurt is the issue here. I just think the way you say things is hurting our brains.
Listen, I say things like that because you asked a question, and these are details that I kind of thought about, but also haven't hyper thought about.
Yeah, like I mean, that was mainly rhetorical. It's like, oh, I wonder what that would have been like. Because I mean, if anything,
Oh.
that could be explored in a spin-off of some kind. Like, yeah, sure.
Probably
but,
not. I mean, I have thought about giving Adam a prequel spinoff, or like giving some prequel story spinoff, but there's very little stories that I could actually think that would be a good way to flesh out some of the past. I mean, maybe
I
like
guess because we've already covered the aspects like from his perspective. Again, if we focused on Kurt for something, in terms of like like his tutors or people rather than like the movie, for example.
that could be an interesting
Yeah,
avenue.
no, that's what I mean. So it's more of a case of like, oh, okay, that'd be like a curious detail that either gets developed or potentially someone watching this VOD does a spin-off or something. We need Fallen Angels fanfics, by the way. There's some musical fanfics out there, but we said Fallen Angels ones because the musical fanfics are all super depressing. Like, this show already has the angst for you. We've
have
given you the
angst.
angst. You don't need to invent it this time. It's already there.
Raina, after being
Go at it.
transformed, decides that she can't live like an elf for the rest of her life. So she walks up to the roof of her house, climbs the ladder, and sits there watching the sunset go up. She takes a deep breath, looking at the last thing she'll ever see. It jumps.
And she became
For
an
God's sakes,
angel
please.
because she was actually the angel the whole entire time. Not me,
What?
not a human.
No, that's not what I was going with, but okay.
That's what you were going with. Yes, that's we know. Anyways, we should continue.
That just sounds a bit smug. Well, I mean, to be honest, yeah, he probably is. I mean, he does. He does at least enjoy, the position of like intelligent aberration that he has.
Is there anything else I ought to know about?
Well, I met Helen Moore, ran into Kurt and Zack on the beach, found out Helen was evil.
I love the change of like the hands there, by the way.
Yes.
And now I have her kidnapped to my cabin.
Wait, Helen Mort, the daughter of Hades? Word has spread about the event as well, much to Kurt's internal embarrassment.
I think that mine was eternal embarrassment, not internal embarrassment.
Internal, eternal, same word.
It's like I'm okay. I'm not offended by this at all.
I forgot about that. I forgot about that moving mouth, and I remember using it and regret it.
Did she try to kill you or something?
Yeah, I was in Florida in 2014.
What? Yes?
As I like, just talk about the backwards hand thing. Yeah.
Oh.
But the I was in Florida in 2014. That's actually kind of that. I feel like for a lot of people watching this remake now, that probably has lost its original meaning. So just in case anyone doesn't remember,
Through Her Eyes, episode 2.
Yes, like you actually do see Helen in Florida in 2014 in scene in the opening of that episode of Through Her Eyes.
I totally missed that, apparently.
Yeah,
Oh,
no,
wait.
like,
Oh, no. That's just because I never watched Fallen Angels. That's why. Because
yeah, because you hadn't seen Fallen. Yeah, that's also another thing that comes down to it. Because yeah, we write a lot of stuff so that when you rewatch stuff, you get like a different experience.
Yeah.
But of course, again, it's unless you would know. That's one of the things.
I mean, yeah, but you would also have to remember that Through Her Eyes was technically set in 2014. And you have to remember that it's also Florida at that, and you have to remember that community takes place in Florida, which is acknowledged on occasion, is acknowledged every once in a while, but isn't brought up like every episode.
Okay.
You know, it's like Fallen Angels out of Canada. We don't really acknowledge it ever, but it is canonically a fact that I think it came up once or twice.
Yeah, I guess like also there was a time before Mrs. Dysart showed up in the show where the only like allusion to her was Alana's line of oh I got this this thanks for you like my kimono, thanks for this, I got this from my aunt, she's an English teacher in Florida or something like that, and that was
and then she acknowledges that her aunt has a mutant in the class when talking to Harvey.
Oh my god, I just remember
that is true. Yeah, neither of those I was from Kid Observations. I didn't pick up on either one of those.
There was quite a bit of like a lot of subtle foreshadowing in season 1.
I didn't catch it because I think it was like flashing in my mind that I just watched The Mutant Girl, and then we went to watch Fallen Angels, and I cannot believe I didn't hear that part, or like did hear it, but didn't connect the dots until she actually said, "Hi, my aunt," and I'm like, Mrs. Dysart? I hated myself.
It was a thought out twist. I didn't actually. It's not one of those times where it's like, oh yeah, and this character is secretly related to this character. It wasn't hinted or foreshadowed, but it is a thing now. It's like, not like it was actually built up properly.
That was maybe because Aidan wanted to do a crossover with Mutant Girl from like day 1 of Fallen Angels.
Yeah, well, the series was made with the idea of it being set in the Butterverse. Therefore, I wanted to have some connection to the Mutant Girl, or at least some tie-in.
I really wanted to do like a Butterverse series, but it was just like all my ideas were like, yeah, it will not work because of the rules. As I have too many ideas.
Yeah, that does make sense. Yeah, I get that.
Ways.
Again, offer still if you wanted, if you ever do find one day they do that works, but no pressure.
Yeah.
He found me and tried to kill me, but failed, and I got away.
Thank the gods.
How were you keeping her captured?
She got us.
I wouldn't have smiled when he said that. It's like, oh yes, my closest friend died, but I survived. Oh, thank the gods for that. Lucky you.
No, no, he was saying he survived the attack from Helen.
Okay.
Then died.
Yeah, that's right.
She said she stole it, but it could have been given. Anyways, with Alana's quick learning skills and some of my energy, we may have risk that could only be taken off by the person who put it on.
Is it just me, or does it seem like, you said that for Mrs. Dysart the series, that you were using like the same poses and repeating them. Was that kind of what was happening here? Because I saw like the same like a sequence of like up, point, shrug, kind of thing. Was that what you were doing for the scene too?
Similar enough, has a similar point. Most of those poses flow really well together. So that's the main reason why I do it. And do those poses in general together. Not to mention, I don't tend to go with crazy different, like crazy body language 24/7. So like it's kind of like a subtle body language I'm trying to go for.
Yeah, this is the new thing to look out for. Instead of the old Aidan poses and smile thing from the olden days, now we have the Aidan sequences. It's an extra level.
Well, the sequences are always also reordered as well. They're always slightly reordered too. Sometimes maybe like shrug, point, back, you know, or back,
Yeah.
shrug, point, you know, point, shrug, back,
Why does that sound
point,
like
back, shrug.
this sounds like instructions for like one of those like songs you
Bop
play on a
it.
catwalk or something.
Bop
You know,
it.
someone like no,
Or-
I was thinking
or
like
dancing.
fashion. I was thinking like fashion catwalk or something. It's like someone like walks out and like poses like a point back. Shrug, I don't know. Something like that. It's like,
Diogenes,
point back,
Diogenes
shrug.
is very old. He's older than 500. I forget the exact age. Oh God.
I'm pretty sure the actual Diogenes was alive around like the time of like 300ish BC.
So, very old. Over
Yeah.
1,000, man. It's a very old
Random
man.
person
Okay, how old is he?
Very
Over 500 or over 1,000?
Well,
Both.
yeah.
They're not
he's-
mutually exclusive.
Yeah.
Like he's both of those things. In fact, he's over 2,000 if you want to really add an extra layer to that.
How old is he exactly?
I forget, but
Oh,
like,
okay,
does
right,
it
I'm
really
looking this
matter? Does it matter his exact age?
I
They're
like to know
immortal
characters'
creatures.
ages, alright?
They're immortal
well, see-
beings.
Okay, well, see, here's the thing. I just looked this up. There's no actually like agreed date of birth for the actual Diogenes, so in real life we don't know the answer. He was either born in 412 or 404 BC, and he died at the end of
Okay.
23 BC.
There you go. I just like to know my the characters' ages because for me personally, I love to try to remember character ages because if I do end up doing something, it could be very bad and I get the ages like mixed up or anything like that. So I try to keep it, facts straight and stuff like that. Especially when Aidan thought Duncan and Kendra
Well-
was like so old, and I'm like, no.
Well, you
What-
had to contend with time dilation. You had Einstein to
Yeah,
live
you
up
did
to
kind
there.
of explain it kind of confusingly. In this case, I don't really tend to.
No, Aidan. Before I said anything about how Magica works, you just said, "Oh, is Kendra Duncan like 100-year-old or something like that?" Right? So it would be weird if they're like dating or something like that. That's what you said.
You were probably explaining Kendra weird too. No way,
No,
I said that because you were acting like Pierce was over 100 years old, and yet Pierce was made into an undead knight because of Kendra, and Kendra then dated Duncan. Therefore, Duncan would have to be over 100 years if Kendra was around to
I
resurrect
never-
Pierce.
I never said
Then I drank
anything
the ichor, and I was
about how
reborn.
old this Pierce is, though. That's the thing. You kind of just assume. Oh, I said that Pierce is an undead knight.
Yeah, and you
That is
acted like
it.
he worked for the Dark Warlock for years upon years. Therefore, he was also in a war beforehand. He was in a war beforehand. He worked for the Warlock for a while, at least. Therefore, can he still be technically a minor at that point if he somehow was in a war,
Yeah.
died, got resurrected by Kendra, worked for a Dark Warlock, and then rebelled? Like, I mean, I don't really see how he could be 17 or 18 around that time period by that logic. It seems like a lot of steps for the weird aging.
Yeah, depending on how long the war lasted, but still.
Yeah, but
unlikely,
like
I see
then
what you mean.
child soldier, which would be also an extra questionable element where it's like
Either
what,
that or
a
his age
14,
didn't
15
increase.
year old?
Either that was
Oh my
age didn't
God.
increase during the time that he was that
Just
between
this-
being undead and being alive. Like he just
Yeah,
it was
like
that.
Also,
he-
didn't you say like Kendra killed I was gonna call him Zack, killed Pierce at one point, and that's the reason why he initially died and then got resurrected? Which
Again, how does that have to do with the ages? Because you're acting as if this is going to be long periods of time.
I mean, a war would have to be going on, and we don't hear about war Magica, at least. Besides from the Dark Warlock, unless he was the Dark Warlock. Again, you were very fuzzy on details and, like, the
Because
backstory.
you were asking complicated questions. So I didn't know how to answer them exactly because, like, you asked, like, weird questions. And so when I tried to answer...
Weird questions. Character ages and backstories. What
You
a
never
waste.
asked
just
the
a
character
mirror-
question. You never asked
I
the
thought it's
character
just a mirror image of what we were saying about Aidan before, like the complicated question thing.
You
Yeah.
never asked about the character ages. You just asked like the backstory.
Well, yeah,
and
but
I gave you
but
the basic
you
idea.
gave me backstory elements,
So I was trying to put that all on a timeline, and since Kendra was connected to multiple characters, I was trying to put it all together on a timeline somehow, and somehow try to make sense of this convoluted backstory, because Kendra somehow has history with Pierce and Duncan somehow. But they're
Chat,
both.
can somebody put like a Spider-Man pointing meme in the chat with these
But
two faces on it, please?
but somehow Pierce and Duncan are both technically minors, or at least very young, 18, both, which is still kind of weird. Which, again,
It's
also
not that weird, Aidan.
So what? A 14-year-old Pierce was in a war, died, got resurrected by Kendra, worked for a Dark Warlock, and then proceeded to eventually realize Dark Warlock was bad, so defected. And
the real
just
question
happened
would
to
be
dump worlds.
what is the time frame of those things happen? Like,
Yeah,
how
like-
long did the war last, for example? Or I should rather say, how long was he in the war for? 'Cause they could
Yeah,
have,
like was
you
he
know,
in the war for only
enlisted
6
later.
months? Was he in the war for like 2 months? Because assumably he's super skilled. Assumably, at least. So how did he become super skilled over the course of 6 months potentially?
He could have trained as a teen or as a child and then
Child
enlisted when he was
soldier?
old enough.
Yeah,
I guess.
he was a child soldier. His family.
Oh, okay, never mind.
but
then.
you never said any of this stuff. You never gave any good.
Because he never asked those kind of questions. He just asked me for the basic backstory, how he became an undead knight. He never asked like anything else beyond that.
And then you've also, when talking about Klamai, you also had a problem of being like, no, Aidan, that was roleplay lore. So then it got me confused. It's like, okay, what's the difference between roleplay lore and regular lore? What are you choosing to keep and what are you trying to get away? And that makes it ultra confusing for me. Because it's like, what? You can't just be, because then it's like they're two separate lores. But
that's how adaptations work. When the book comes out, I imagine there's gonna be even more changes.
yeah, but like there wasn't a good stating of what you're keeping as roleplay and what you're keeping as non-role, and what you're keeping as original or completely altered based off it. And there wasn't a good enough separation or good enough explanation of the difference between said roleplay initial lore and said non-role and said original or altered lore that you have in the show.
Because I don't know what you wanted. Because like I was just giving you the general ideas what I remember, and then so I forget to say well in the role plays because sometimes I do forget to say well in the role play this technically happened, but I might change this. But sometimes I forget to say that. Because
well, that would be a very important phrase to state if you're going to change something.
Again,
or you're
sometimes I
unsure about
forget.
it.
I sometimes forget, Aidan. How many times do I have to say it? Sometimes I forget to say those kind of things.
It felt like I was working with two separate lores, whereas like here's the actual show lore, here's the actual roleplay lore, and here's the lore in your head that you're not explicitly telling me. And I'm trying to my best to make sense of all of it, because you'll give random
Wasn't that
tidbits.
kind of the reason that you were brought there was to help her make sense of those things?
Yeah, but hey, it was still a challenge. And honestly, writing in season 2 didn't really go too much into lore on like season 2 didn't go too heavy into any of the lore. So I didn't really have much time to, because obviously I didn't know much of the lore, because when you keep the lore private.
I like to keep because you want to like explore everything about Magica when I was like, that's not the whole point of this season, like, because it felt like you're wanting to go this one direction where I'm like.
Well, actually, I was trying to explore Magica while trying to explore the grief of losing thing at the same time. I just didn't. But I just didn't know much of the lore because it was very unclear when you're trying to explain it to me.
Because it felt like you wanted to like explore a lot of Magica when I'm like, okay, no, that's not the direction I want to go.
Magica was also kind of confusing because then it kind of felt like Earth half the time. It's like, is Magica Earth or Magica another realm? Because it kind of felt like there wasn't good enough separation.
Seems to be the Earth adjacent one.
Yeah, but it didn't feel like there was good enough separation. It's like, oh, they're both, one's magical, one's not. It's like, okay, but what's the major difference? Any goal societal? There are like kingdoms involved and stuff, but we didn't get to explore any of the kingdoms or like the idea that there were really kingdoms. I think kingdoms got mentioned maybe once in the whole script, which I'm like, that's kind of weird, but okay.
Not really weird because I didn't want to explore Magica that much because it's about.
Then why set it in Magica? I mean, I would just set it on Earth if you didn't want to explore a new location, hypothetically.
I didn't want to like explore everything about Magica. That's what I'm trying to tell you because it seemed like you want to explore everything about Magica. I was like, no, but we're going to explore Magica, yes, but not like explore everything about it because if we try to explore everything about season 2, it's not going to really go anywhere.
Well, yeah, but you could have explored a little bit. We were so service level that it felt like we didn't even touch anything deeper. Then we're in Magica. Okay, what's different about Magica on Earth? No comment. Anyways, here is the rest of the story,
I do like Sir Devon Team Night.
It's just one of those like kind of like storytelling things where like, hey, I like other worlds, but there's Fallen Angels is mostly set on Earth. So I don't have to so that's why I don't really hyper explore.
The angelic realm.
Yeah, I don't go into the angelic realm 24/7 because most Fallen Angels doesn't even really take place in the angelic realm.
Some parts do. And
Yeah, some
admittedly,
do, but like
admittedly, there might have been a couple missed opportunities to have like other stuff happen. But I guess based on like when season 1 happened, you were not too familiar with like having like imported backgrounds or trying to explore some other stuff.
Well,
it
I
was
was
probably a bit
mostly
too late to
using-
worry about that.
Yeah, but like again, general setting could be explored. Anyways, you want to keep playing because I gotta go in a minute or two, but
Okay.
Yeah, no, I just
said I
want to
wanted
say
to.
I didn't really
I
want to
see.
explore Magica that much.
It seems like a weird
You
missed
good.
opportunity. But okay.
Yeah,
because I
I've
wanted
just
to
been getting
explore
those
Magica in a different way.
weird headaches.
Do you know
In
the
what
angels
way?
come from?
I wanted to have like season 3 to be more about Magica, while season 2 was mainly about grief and stuff. Because the characters are really like wanting to focus on, let's explore
KW?
Magica. Let's explore Magica.
KW, I don't think that's necessarily true. You want season 2 to explore grief. That's not really true. Trust me.
No, that is my goal for season 2.
It might have been executed, but that might have been the plan in her head.
KW, remember how crap, I don't want to say this on stream. Remember how a certain thing was supposed to happen very early in the season, like around episode 3?
No, I don't really remember, to be honest.
Just gonna add one to the counter, please.
Yeah.
Private chats. Just say it in the private chats. That's what it's there for.
Cool. Yeah, you keep playing the video.
Okay. Well, I asked Zack, Kurt, and Castiel. Zack didn't know. And Kurt and Castiel said I didn't want to know.
Well, they may be right.
What do you mean?
Do you know what that box does?
No, but I know angels don't come out the same.
I guess it's that box. This is like, I think it was mentioned third box.
Indeed not. The box solely erases an angel's memories.
And? What does this have to do with making angels?
I'm getting there. Angels used to be humans.
I honestly don't
How?
really remember.
Oh,
I'm not
no,
saying you're wrong. Aidan, I'm not
Yeah.
saying you're wrong. I just honestly don't really remember this. But
Yeah, that's why I'm bringing it up because technically it's not that.
Yeah, and then once
that
you
really wasn't the
suggest-
main point.
and then when you suggested that, I'm like, okay, you know what? Let's actually explore grief then. After you suggested that, that's what I mean.
Well,
That's what I mean. And then, like, yeah, like I didn't want to do that, but then when you suggested not to, I'm like, oh wait, okay, that's actually a good idea. And then I want to explore grief, which of course, like with the script, it didn't seem like that, but I really did try and wanted to explore that because I had like dealings with grief and stuff like that. But like I said, this is the reason why I actually did want Curtain List back to being books, because I feel like if I write it as books, it would be a lot easier to explain everything and explore a lot of things and stuff like that, like Magica, stuff like that. Because, like, the reason why I didn't want to explore Magica in season 2, because I feel like it's going to take too long to do the stuff that I really wanted to do and kind of move along the story. Because I don't have problems with, like, side quests or anything like that. I'm just worried that if we keep exploring every little detail about Magica, see what's different and stuff like that, we won't move along the plot. You know,
If there were more episodes to play around with, then yeah, that's probably
the main way I would suggest to build up Magica and explain Magica is just subtly through dialogue or subtly through mentioning stuff about the world, which is probably the best way to do it. You know, like just subtly bringing up, you know, the war between the pixie and the fairy kingdom has really been, you know, taking a toll on the farming area, which causing less crops to be sold than normal. I don't know, something. Obviously, you'd have to do something like just something casual, or you know, which is probably the best way to explore that kind of world building.
And books, because like as a series as a whole, it doesn't like it's kind of hard to try to make sure.
Yeah, because
like,
the way what you just described there can very easily end up feeling phoned in if done incorrectly.
Yeah, well, obviously it'd be in proper dialogue and sentence, but you know.
Yeah, so that's so yeah, so you know, like it's like as much as I did when I explored Magica season 2, it's like, well, this is a series. I already thought out like what episode's gonna be and stuff like that. There's not really much room to explore. Should there have been dialogue and stuff like that? Yeah, maybe, but at the same time, it was just like very hard to balance that out. While as books, it can take more time to cook, you know. And so, that makes sense. So yeah, so that's why I'm really happy with, you know, not trying to continue season 2, because I'm gonna be honest, I don't think season 2 is gonna be that great, especially with lots of editing and stuff like that. Like, episode 1 was so hectic and stressful, not gonna lie. And it's not because of you, Aidan. Don't think that. It wasn't because of you. It was just more of like, this is actually gonna be good, or it was just like hard to find a balance. So, you know.
Yeah, fair enough. Anyways, I gotta get ready to go for work.
All right.
But before I go, I'm just gonna say one more thing about this episode. So there's only one original screenshot when Daltonese is doing Ace exposition. Because the rest of it is taken exactly from from the movie, prequel movie. Like all the footage when he's talking about the history of the angels. That's where all that footage is from. Okay. Except for the screenshot. There's one screenshot at the end, which is original. But yeah, so, you know.
Okay, sure. All right, I think we're about to get into that. Let's get
cool. Enjoy lore.
All right. Yes. Time to learn where angels came from. After all, we're only 3 days older.
When Donatos was
there was an argument counter? Wait, what?
Oh yeah, no. Did you not even notice that was happening? I was just talking to Ghosty in the chat about this.
No. I wasn't trying to argue with
Aidan. Got derailed.
I'm sorry, I wasn't trying to argue or anything like that. But I promise you, every time Aidan asks me a question, I'm just like, okay, how do I say this without sounding stupid? And I ended up sounding stupid.
You did exactly what Bond did in Secrets of the Flex. And I want the Aidan in Fallen Angels in one of the other live reviews. It's just constantly, yeah. That's where the whole non-canon background meme came from.
Right? And so, it's just, I do try to plan things out, but sometimes when, Aidan asks me questions, stuff like that, because I get he was trying to help me and stuff like that, I was like, oh god, okay, how do I explain this?
I will say to anyone who ends up in this situation, it is okay in the moment to say that you don't have an answer, but that you will think of one. That's a fine thing to do.
I just get so overwhelmed. Wait, do I have to answer this, or can I just wait and write notes down? Because
this is when honestly, you and Aidan are mirrors of each other to a certain extent. That's what I was saying before. Chat, can we get a meme of the Spider-Man pointing thing, but with their faces?
Okay, here's my question. Is it maybe just because of our autism or something like that? I'm not trying to group it, but I'm just wondering. And that sometimes
I don't know where the pair of you two fall on the spectrum, so it could be that that's part of it, but I
Well,
mean,
it's right now. It's just literally called autism, like on the spectrum. Like they decide not to have like specific names and labels because I guess some of them were like harming or hurting the community.
I mean, yes, that is true, but also if you say someone is on a spectrum is is used like either a line or a circle in which someone actually falls like a specific point along there. That's what that's called.
I don't know. Society is weird. Okay, I don't understand it either. Like every time someone says, "Oh, I'm on a spectrum," and I'm like, "Okay, are you autistic, OCD? Like, what are you?" "Oh, I'm just on the spectrum." What do you mean?
Yeah, I think those two are different spectrum actually.
I mean, that would be like sometimes I'm like, "Oh yeah, my friends are saying that I might be autistic." I'm like, "Have you gotten an actual diagnosis?" "Nope." "Then go see a doctor because you might just have some similarities of being autistic, but you're not really autistic." I just
Yeah, most people, just generally personality-wise, will have like some traits that they're in isolation. Well, were in combined with other stuff would usually equal an autism diagnosis, but you know the fact they don't have the other ones means there is no combination. Therefore, they don't have that, or therefore they don't get diagnosed. Yeah.
So I just wonder if that's part of the reason why it's just well, I know Bond's situation is a bit different because I don't know what exactly happened to Bond. I know they said like, "Oh, this is canon," and then they screwed things up, and then they had to say it's not canon and do it like a YouTuber apologies.
Yeah. So it is kind of like that. Everyone has well, all three of you fall into the trap of like answering something directly where you don't have the answers, and then think like, oh well, that raises like further questions.
I wonder
Yeah.
if it's just because we feel like we need to, no matter what, because we're put on a spot. If that makes sense. So it's just like, like you know, and so we just never really have well thought out answers. Now I'm actually writing and taking notes for like the Demon book because like, okay, so this is how they are, this is your personality and stuff like that, you know, just so that way if someone asks questions like, okay, so what's this character, what does he do and stuff like that, I was okay. For example, let's just say this is a random character, this is not canon to the Demon book. Let's say I have a character that's name is Jack.
Yeah.
Heartache, I don't know, his last name is Heartache, and I would say, oh, well, Jack Heartache, he is a, you know, let's just go with something that we all know. A hitman. Oh, like Chrome from Misfits? Yeah, but different. He used a shotgun instead.
And he also aims at people's hearts, and that's what causes them the heartache, which is what earned him his name.
Exactly. So that's what I'm doing now. I probably should do this for character lands, but at the same time, though, I'm just like, where do I even start? Because there's a bunch of characters.
He was taught by his mentor, Billy Brain Hemorrhage.
Giant, now people want that as a book, are they? You know what? I will write a short story if anyone wants that. If you get this video 5 likes, I will make that as a short story and maybe make it into a Gacha video. I do not know yet. Make it 5 likes.
Okay. Okay.
Which we need 2 more likes. So everybody, give Jacob a like. Come on and subscribe. Rate a notification.
Yeah. In the meantime, Pixie Kingdom. Yeah, who would have named a kingdom that? Look at you, Maddie, who was the owner of Pretty Cool Elemental before he was given control of it. Just named the Kingdom Pixie. Yeah. Honestly, naming the Kingdom of Pixie, that is usually not a good idea. I would have thought.
What?
But I thought that I think that the Pixie Kingdom, I thought it was a thing in Winx Club actually, not called Pixie itself. But yeah, I don't know.
There's the Pixie Village.
Oh, okay, that was what I was thinking of.
Yeah.
It wasn't big enough to be a kingdom.
No,
Okay.
like if I want to say like I will probably say, and here is this kingdom, the Kingdom of Pixies. So that way they is like say, okay, this is the kingdom's name, and this is mainly have pixie people. You know.
Yeah, it was kind of like saying like, oh yes, you know, welcome to the country of human. Like it's not. that's the problem with that.
Angels used to be humans.
What? How?
When Donanos was trapped by Sisyphus, there was...
Oh god. Okay. Two things. So Thanatos or something. I don't know why I said that way. Okay. So I was gonna say that the original line in the that was well, when Thanatos was trapped by Sisyphus, of course. But I mean, like in the original video, the original episode, what G-Man said was, when Thanatos was trapped by syphilis. Like, he just got really sick one day and couldn't do his job. So, that was the problem with that episode. And that's why Aidan mentioned that before. But now we have, like, at least like, Sisyphos, I've seen his name spelled like an O at the end sometimes, because again, ancient Greece, there's different variations of what people think.
Right.
But still, it was kind of like, that is not what we said in the script. Like, when that was by Sisyphos.
Also, I'm just gonna say, does Aidan, like, why with these faces? I get it, it's supposed to be like him dropping stuff like that, but I would have thought as a remake he could do something different.
I mean, yeah, it depends. Like, if this were me now, I would apply like a masking to some of the chains, so you can like be like underneath and over and under, rather than having to because it's a green screened image. There's only so much that you can actually do to like shrink it down and make it look somewhat convincing. Because it was specifically chains in the version that I read, so that's why it had to be like this. But on the other hand, yeah, it's a case of well. How much fun to go? It's kind of like the like when Reyna was tied up in the basement in season 2 of Mutant Girl, where I didn't know about how to do masking back then, so I just had like the random rope that I found, like chroma keyed it as best I possibly could and shrunk it down and hoped for the best.
Also,
Jack Heart Attack is way better actually than Jack Heartache. You're right. Yeah.
You know, yeah, you can do that. You can do that. You can do that, Ghost Kitty. Have Jack Heart Attack.
His wings do not look chained. He could just fly away with the chains.
Right?
That is also an issue, yeah.
No one to claim mortal souls when it was their time.
I do like the way he is like struggling and moving around a little bit.
When he got free, he had a lot of work to do to clean up the earth. So he made 3 powerful angels with blue dark wings.
I remember when.
Oh my god, blue dark rings! Oh my god, they're so special! Oh.
and they're overlapping each other in but not the bodies. I guess that's what Aidan cared about. I remember when in your reaction when you saw Castiel for the first time, having not like heard his name before. I guess even though in the episode it was mentioned, but I think someone was talking over it. But yeah, just like he got really excited at that point as well.
I was like,
which
yes,
I guess means
let's
that it
go!
worked. Because that's the thing, you know, when we make pop culture references, usually it's either stuff that we both understand or stuff that I've like inserted in that Aidan has to this day not noticed.
Right,
but
like,
in the case of Supernatural, that's a show that I've still yet to see. But
it's a really good. It's really good.
Explained
like,
about some stuff to me. So
yeah, it's a really good show if you love like the like myths and legends about like different like supernatural stuff and everything like that. You know, they probably got like a
comic story. I see you. Hello.
Oh god, they're spamming. That's what they're doing. They're spamming. That's what they're doing.
I thought we were trying to draw attention. It's like, I'm here. Hello.
Yeah. But like it's really good if you like I said, they may get a few things wrong here and there, but like they did like pretty much most of the research what they can find this stuff, like, you know, to make it like accurate as possible. But of course they're not going to get everything right, you know, because there's like different stories and stuff like that. But yeah. Oh my god, they're gonna keep spamming, are they? Jeez.
It's weirdly slow. Like I don't think I had like a slow-mo turned on of any sort. But that seems.
I think they're trying to make sure this doesn't seem like spamming, but they really are spamming. I don't know. Like, I'm not trying to assume, but just those dots makes me think, yeah, they're spamming.
Yeah, I have absolutely no idea about any of that. I don't know.
Oh my god! You should have seen what happened this morning in my live stream, where someone told me my audio quality was quiet. I was like, okay, I'll just check the stream. And you can actually hear me loud and clearly and so the game. And I was like, okay, and I even asked him, like, hey, is your volume low or something like that? Because it seems fine. Even, like, Treva was like, yeah, your audio's fine. I can hear you loud and clearly, maybe a little bit too loud. And even Treva's like, okay, yeah, you're a little bit quiet, but, like, you're just talking not super loudly because it's a morning and stuff like that, you know? So it was just like, and then they're like, wow, why do you have to be so salty? I'm just trying to help you out. I would be happy if someone helped me out. Goodbye. And I was like, Salty about what? I'm just confused.
If anything, you were trying to help that person out to realize a problem with their machine, probably, rather than yours.
No, like, I was just like, hey, is your volume over? Like, how much your volume is down and stuff like that? Because, like, you know, I usually even like check like, when I go, hello, testing, can you hear me? Hello, is the game audio fine and stuff like that? I usually mute myself up, go check the live stream, and when I see like, yep, everyone can hear me without, especially without the headphones and stuff, then I just continue on my way unless there's some glitch happen.
Yeah.
No,
Well, there you go, and continue you did, because by the time that I got to there, I saw some notices about like quiet audio or something, but you know, seemed to be fine when I was there.
Oh, was it heartache? I heard heart attack. Heart attack sounds better in my opinion. Maybe his name is heartache. Ooh.
Well, heart attack rhymes with with Jack, so yeah, that makes sense.
It's up to you, Ghost Kitty. I'm going to give you that character. I'm just saying, like, if you guys want a short story about that character, then 5 likes.
Maybe that can be like Sir Devon's arch nemesis or something.
Oh, maybe.
Yeah.
They were almost as powerful as gods themselves. Then, as a backup plan for if Thanatos was unable again, the four of them decided to make more angels out of the few of the purest departed souls. After making the first 15 angels, they decided to start making archangels to help lead normal ones.
Whoa.
I like the difference of having like the fade into the zoom in. Like there's a lot of this is shot for shot recreation, but with zoom ins instead.
When they started making angels, they had memories when they were humans. Thanatos put some of his energy to run a device to convert soul.
Thanos! Can you literally just say Thanos? I heard Thanos!
Well, he's saying like Thanatos, as in like he's putting the emphasis somewhere not where we usually put it. But also we did like make a couple of jokes about that, about like the Thanatos connection, because Thanos is actually sometimes used interchangeably with Thanatos, but it was originally Thanatos, and so because of that, also in Mutant Girl particularly, which I will say season 1 came out like, you know, a few months after Infinity War. So I made a joke about you know, the fact that one person was playing Thanatos in the presentation, and then Rhaenyra comes in and goes like, "Rah, I am Thanos!" Like, oh yeah, you got that wrong. And it's like, it's Thanatos here to save us. That was the correction originally, but the viewers didn't pick up on that one. And then at some other point, I think in episode 1 of Fallen Angels, Alana says something like, "Who was that Thanos guy?" or something like that. So yeah, couple of examples there.
Like energy. One orb of said energy.
Okay, when it fades back into here, because he wasn't talking at the time, I would have just had him like closed mouth at this point, because now he just comes like fading back into him.
Right.
Energy added to a human soul makes it a normal angel like you or me.
God, I did that like sound, and it reminded me of when the Game Grumps played Sonic Adventure DX.
That game, man. I know it's supposed to be like one of those good games or whatever, but like looking back at it, God, why? Just why?
I mean, they intentionally, like, Aaron intentionally picked the worst version of that game, the one that like worked to the worst, so it would be a funny let's play. But on top of that, I'm pretty sure that the lip syncing was the same throughout, is my understanding.
Yep. Yeah.
3 orbs added to a soul makes it an archangel. And finally, adding 20 to a soul will make it as powerful as the first 3 angels.
This is a lot to take in.
And you seem unfazed by all of it.
There were originally going to be 23 angels, but 8 of the souls exploded. Back in the days, angels were told about all this history, but the
Oh, that was in the movie.
Yeah, that's what Aidan was saying, that all those shots are from the movie, except for one at the very end with Diogenes.
Angels thought it would be better if no one else knew, and this information became lost to history.
Oh, I think that was the new image, because he just like, well, I don't remember a scene with Thanatos, and
Right.
just stays still for
So
ages.
then
For the past 500
I forget, why is this bad? Like them making angels? I can't remember.
it wasn't bad. If anything, it splits the workload. It's just because like the way that the system continued to work, because of the fact there were so many people out there, no one was able to like help each other, and that's what Adam was originally protesting, was the fact that they saw what was happened to everyone, and they was going to like take them somewhere else, and they couldn't do anything about it, versus the Angel Society who they themselves, they realize that the world order has to be like that, because otherwise, like, if you make exceptions in the rules of death, then you're just like picking favorites, and then you have a whole other moral dilemma attached to that, because who enforces who deserves to be saved and who doesn't. Goes into like the actual philosophy behind the series of Fallen. It's like Fallen is the series where we pour like the most like actual philosophy and debate into it. Which unfortunately did not get picked up for the most part. But yeah. So what was I gonna say about? I was going somewhere with that. So
Right, no, you're good.
So yeah, the Angel Society. Yeah, so Angel Society. That's what I was saying. So yeah, like the and of course the problem, of course, is the fact that when you actually see what the what like most souls end up being encased of, while like in Asphodel, for example, like once you see what that place looks like and how there's like virtually nothing there, it's like well, there's not much for most people to look forward to unless they like have like a heroic death, which again, who defines that? So it is very Fallen started off as a series that was mainly about like challenging a system that had been in place for so long, and people, including the audience, deciding which side they should actually be on, and how far one should go in as to like enforcing that, or trying to go to extremes in order to make their vision of the world possible. Diogenes, for example, he goes like the verbal route, has taken like actual centuries to try and like get any discourse going, but because of that, he's allowed to exist because he's not doing anything technically wrong. Adam, on the other hand, becomes a fugitive, but he gets like quicker results.
Yeah,
and then of course,
know.
Eventually, Abraxas came along and was like, okay, it's good versus evil now. Oh well, sure, fine, that works.
Right,
too, I guess.
no. I mean, like my thought is that like if someone lived a pretty long life, or someone had like a life where they have an incurable disease and suffering through that, stuff like that, then yeah, maybe they should move on.
Yeah, well, those people wouldn't want to be saved in that case. That's a whole other debate. Yeah. I guess that runs with like The Incredibles, I suppose. Where the whole movie begins after Mr. Incredible says someone did not wish to be saved.
I will be honest, that movie to me was very, very weird, because it's like, so you guys got mad at a superhero for saving you? You didn't want to be saved or anything like that, so you're suing him? How was he supposed to know? Like,
that's true. How was he supposed to know? Because if you see somebody falling, you don't necessarily like have time in the meantime. Like, hey, why are you falling exactly? Tell me everything. Meanwhile, they're going like, ah, ah, ah. Like, no, stop screaming. Let's have a conversation about this. And okay, I'll change my tactic.
And then like Incredibles 2 was also very weird. So it's just like, I feel like those like movies have a really weird concept. I guess it was work because it's just supposed to be like a funny movie and stuff like that. But it's just like, what is this movie?
I mean, there are people out there who will try to like sue people for saving them.
I can make Jack an assassin with his codename Heart Attack. Imagine. You should watch out.
Well, but okay, well then you don't get like the Jack Heart Attack as the name. That gives me like comic book name vibes, or early 2000s Cartoon Network show. Both of which I deeply admire. Yeah. Like when I was thinking of like Sir Devon Teen Knight, I was thinking of American Dragon Jake Long, if I'm perfectly honest. So like the idea of like Jack Heart Attack as the name of the arch nemesis, that is appropriately goofy for that particular era, I think. But yeah. Here we go again. Tony's favorite quotes. That's how my brain works. You throw me a bone and I return with a fossil. Okay.
In the years, they have been throwing angels in a box to make them forget about their human lives.
What about the headaches?
Since most angels spend most of their time in the angel realm,
since most of them, I'm gonna start my sentence by doing this.
The more time you spend on Earth, the more you remember your past.
Did you remember yours?
Okay, I
never
don't care
forgot.
what it says about the vest. It's just really bothering me because if you look at like the not the ends, the beginnings of the sleeves, it looks like it's connected to the vest. Like ah!
Yeah, and that's because of one of the issues with gacha clothing is the fact. Well, I guess like gacha layering, because the arm is like, well, I know this now very well because of back facing and having to reverse engineer this process. But the front arm is like that's one of the like furthest ahead layers that you have on the gacha characters, and because of that, if the arm itself does not have like an outline that connecting to it, because it needs to connect to some other clothing sometimes when it's the same color as itself, then you can't have that. Then when it doesn't connect, it just means that there's like two bits of fabric that have been like sewn together very sloppily.
Yeah, it's just
The solution, I
it's
guess, would
no.
be to like have both options in the gacha game itself, to have like one with the outline, one without. But then again, that would just mean like double the amount of arms that you have.
Right. It's just like I just don't really like the vest. Like get rid of the vest and he'll be fine.
I mean,
Or
okay.
or just like paint like different sleeves or something like that. Like, just make it to where it seems like it's not that connected to the S. It's just
I mean, I was saying this before, but Aidan before you showed up was talking about like how he doesn't like when characters will wear a jacket and also have one like tied to their waist, which is fair, and that's why he mentioned that Dagny's way it works for him now is because he doesn't have it on his person. How angels put on clothes like that, put things through sleeves, I will not understand, because they'd have to have holes for their wings, but we never have to
that's
see
why
that.
he changed my dark world, because he saw that I used like a layer of like a jacket like thing to like make his outfit or whatever, and then like had like a check in the bottom. He's like, why? And I'm like, well, like seriously, I didn't know much about Gacha clubs, so I didn't know the rules.
I think that was also the issue with that's what Emma said before about like this the vest. That was another decision. Although then he said he was going to bring it back, so that kind of like undermined that point a little bit. But oh well. Yeah, but
Also,
what I was saying is
it's-
it says like the jackets and the tied to the waist thing. The reason I bring that up is because it actually kind of seemed very similar to Adam wearing a sweater and a vest on top of said sweater. But again, because he chose the outfit when he was learning what clothes actually, well, what human fashion looked like after 200 plus years of not knowing about it, then it was like, okay, that's a mistake that he would make in universe, so I can justify it. Moving forward.
Yeah. Also, like his shirt logo looks like he's wearing a necklace. Not gonna lie.
That's also true. Like I have always noticed that. I was like, oh, I don't know, interesting placement.
I'm way older than 500 years.
Looks like old, like it's like bling from like 90s rappers or something. I'd just be like, emphasize. Meanwhile, I was just thinking, like, are you okay? Yeah. I do have a character in one of my books actually who does like randomly emphasize stuff in his sentences. But yeah, Dodgers were not meant to be like that.
Even if I don't look like it, of course.
No, you don't look a day over.
Adam!
One of the few times that Aidan did Foley in the for headaches in the original was actually this scene in the original episode. Because he already started that process with the other one, he had to go like even further beyond this time. And then she's on the floor again.
Hey.
Oh, it's you again. Where's
Oh, you know what we should have said? This is why I was saying before about sporadic answers, because he said that there's like an invisible rope that's tying her to the leg of the bed, so that's why she can't move. I actually think the better option is, what if they just glued her to the floor? Oh wait, no, she moved around, she shuffled back and forth, that wouldn't work.
your boyfriend?
Invisible rope? Seriously?
Well, I said like, is she supposed to be like tied to the floor because that's why she can't escape? And then Aidan was like, yeah, there's meant to be a rope there, trust me, like that kind of thing. I then said like I was just like I didn't think I'd say this, but Tammy the Bad Boy pulled this off better because Cole did actually Yuki was like tied to a lamp. But admittedly, he could have like lifted up the rope from the lamp because it was very slack. But You know, he actually did. We did see that because that was like an MS Paint edit, basically. So it's a screenshot, so it was easy to do.
We're nothing like that.
Whatever.
So.
Another classic, you know, he's not my boyfriend cliche. Which I will say, I like that he's not my boyfriend / girlfriend cliche when they actually don't become a couple. Because that's a fun idea. And also, it's not meant to like tease the ship necessarily. If anything, would troll people who thought it was super obvious these two are gonna get together, or like not these two. I mean like Alana and Adam, because you know.
Oh my god, yeah, that was me and Junior. Just
okay, yeah, that was an example. I mean, yeah, you two that happened to have recorded, but like a lot of people did think that back in the day. So
well, yeah, when we recorded and stuff like that, you know, in like just like the glowing effect and stuff like that, that's why we assume. Like if it was like something else, you know, and, like we wouldn't like guess, you know. So it's just like.
And that was 100% intentional. It's like, well, we're gonna subvert that.
I know. I saw like you clipped it or something like that, and in the comments we were, well, let's just have to wait and see in the future. And I'm like, why are you talking? Like I didn't comment. I was just like, oh, I'm wrong, aren't I? And then when I saw how really wrong I was like, yeah, why did I? What?
Yeah, so yeah, I think what Fortnite does season 1 and Musical season 2 were both written during my biggest trolling phase as far as subverting tropes went. Because I mean, Musical season 1 was a lot of trope subversion for gacha stuff. This is true, but like, but the whole like bait and switch thing, that was where it was like, okay, I'm gonna really mess with some people with these.
Like honestly, yeah. When I was like first watching Musical, it's like. What is happening? What like people are trying to get like sort of like what is happening? Oh okay they got together. Oh wait no oh wait no what is going on?
I mean that probably that level of confusion was not intentional. I meant like trope subversions in like, you know, the typical things you expect in the gacha video of the time, because again it was during 2019. It was a 2019 gacha, so I mean that was
right,
the huge age of the cliche.
I just remember like, okay, this has got to be like some Trump going on. What is going on here?
Okay, right. So that's what you meant. I thought you were confused by everything. It was like, oh wait, I might have messed up something. But no, I see what you mean now.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah, no, like.
I don't even. Why are you running? Why are you running? Oh, good grief.
What's it like being a demigod?
Seriously? You're actually trying to small talk me right now?
Hey, I'm just trying to get my friend back. I know she's in there somewhere.
You're not going to change me.
What? I'm not trying to change you, honestly. I'm trying to bring out the part of you I saw. I know you claim our friendship was an act, but I know at least a little of that was true.
Oops, sorry to hear that, Ghost Kitty.
I know that you think that you're evil, and that but I'm sure there's like actual good, there's a good within you. I've seen what kind of a person you actually are. Helen.
I did not. Oh God. I hear you. I hear you. I did not realize.
Watch Quest the Rising Sun.
Yeah, episode. What episode are we on? 6 or something?
Yeah, but I meant like the show as a whole. But yes.
Yeah. I was just gonna say like
6.
episode 6 coming out this Thursday, hopefully. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah, so you're talking about Gacha the red armbands. Yes, I do know what you mean.
I've never seen those, but I can see that. Yeah.
Yep.
So, come on. Tell me about yourself. Your real self.
Fine.
Your true identity.
Because if I don't, you'll be more annoying.
Yeah. Hey.
I was conceived by Hades, who pretended to be my mom's boyfriend.
I was conceived by Hades. Listen to me. I am pointing at you. Sitting down, there's only so many poses you can do in Gacha Club.
There was like one where she had her hand a little bit up, like, or like cross over her knee. Like he could have done that to say like she's like talking, like, hey, why pointing?
She could have potentially like tried like stand up and kneel, unless she really is glued to the floor.
My mom's boyfriend, Alex, was a businessman high up in elaboration tech. When he got back...
Oh, that's another reference that's gonna not make sense to people. So, Alex Opio, who people won't remember really, but he was one of Aidan's first online friends. Unfortunately, you know, left all of us some time ago. He's not dead. I mean, like, he actually just disappeared off the internet. I don't.
Oh, so
He
like,
departed some time ago. Yeah. So he vanished. But one of the projects that he had going on that he was going to do, one thing that he actually got us to like review the script of, was a thing called Innovation Inc. And so as a reference to that, because Innovation Inc. is this whole separate thing, so we couldn't have that be in the video. We decided to go with Elaboration Tech, which is just, you know, the Asylum knockoff version, if you like, of Innovation Inc.
sorry to hear that.
Yeah.
from his trip and saw her pregnant, he freaked. He thought she cheated on him.
I'm sorry that happened.
It's alright. If that didn't happen, then I wouldn't have been born. I do feel bad for my mother. She was truly in love, and it didn't work out after that. Then, when I was 4 years old, my powers started to manifest.
Like?
Flight, summoning magical weapons, heightened healing, strength, and speed. Then later in life, I found out I could travel through shadows and go in the underworld.
Can normal humans do
No! 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 We do not talk about that! No! 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 We do not talk about trolls here, Ghost Kitty!
I
No!
haven't seen the movie, but I know the song. Because the song is obviously famous, because, you know, DreamWorks like to do jukebox musicals more than actual
I
new
do
musicals.
not like trolls. I just can't. Every time I see there's something new with trolls, I'm just like, why? Why? Why can't just one be enough? Why? Why? Like, why?
Because, I mean, to be honest, DreamWorks like their sequels.
humans do that?
Yeah, so does Disney.
I'm dumb.
They can, but it takes a powerful gate to open between the two worlds, so you don't die in the process.
I do like the way that, you know, I said before that whenever there was like a dumb line in a script, I tend to like kind of mildly sass each other. That time, no words were needed. Just the face.
Wow,
That's
we're
it.
really seeing those true colors. What are true colors, huh? Tell me what my colors are, huh, Ghost Kitty? Tell me. Tell me. I dare you. I dare you to tell me what my true colors are. Go ahead. Take the shot.
Take the shot, Jack Heart Attack.
Exactly.
For example, if Adam was to teleport you and him to the underworld, you would die and be unable to leave.
Oh.
It's weird. Anyways, I met my father when I was 12 years old.
That's one of the only, like, it's weird ways that,
It's a misshaped Doro and Marinette! Ah!
It's a fusion. It's a... Oh god, I'm just...
Fertilization! Who used that card on Dora and Marinette to make this abomination?
I wonder if she would speak Spanish or French.
And yes, I am making a Yu-Gi-Oh reference.
Oh my goodness, it's a... God, I'm just thinking of like how that would work as like a Dora and Marinette fusion.
I use polarization to fusion summon Dora the Explorer, Marinette, aka Ladybug.
Explorer bug.
Explorer bug. No, Explorer bug. Use Lucky Charm.
Okay, can you say Lucky Charm? Muy bien. Or très bien. I'm not sure if I'm Spanish or French yet.
Okay, now you seem like a Violet. It's just a card that popped into my mind when thinking of you. Violet. Why is everyone thinking about purplish colors with me?
I don't know what that means in the context of, well, actually your profile picture's wearing purple colors. That might be something too.
Yeah,
But also, I
look,
don't know, like in the context of the movie Trolls, they might have something else to do with something. I don't know.
Right, but like I remember when Bond did the whole chaos live stream, like as whatever, I was in purple overalls, and this I'm wearing purple, and then like Junior said, like, you look good in purple. I bet you would look good in purple clothes. And I'm just like, why? Why is it?
Maybe that's a sign. Maybe some people are saying that. I mean, sometimes they'll be like, sometimes there'll be real life fashion gurus who'll look at someone and like, yes, you're definitely a such and such. It's like, well, what does that mean? Well, it means these things. So who knows? Maybe that's secretly a thing.
Maybe.
We're going in 5 minutes, sweetie.
Okay, mommy.
Man, okay,
Okay,
so
I have
all right,
some...
so I praised the like slow pace of the first of like the Dionysus, not Dionysus. Oh God, I'm saying that now because Ghost said it earlier. Diogenes flying in the new version, but now we see her like actually slide down the slide, which I will say that's an improvement already because I guess I didn't realize that Aidan was using keyframes at that stage still.
Also,
but then she like rushes over. She's like, there you go,
okay.
straight
Also,
over.
what is the 80s is she wearing?
I'm
The mom. The mom.
Oh, the mom. Okay. I thought you were talking about like Helen's outfit. It's like, oh,
No. Helen's outfit is alright. Maybe change the look with the hairstyle so it doesn't look like sort of the same as her like growing up, but that's just my take. But like the mom, it looks like she's wearing some sort of outfit from like the 80s, like the socks being like those like leg warmers and stuff like that. The skirt, it's just like, eh.
I was thinking, well, she probably grew up in the 80s. I was thinking pink reflector because you still have like you put like Marinette in my head, but yeah, that's also works. Or Jacob, light blue or green, maybe a hint of yellow through mine. Okay. I mean, I have worn like plenty of blues before. Usually I go for dark blues, but hey, light blue might be an option. And green's my favorite color, so that works too. And I used to have this yellow shirt that unfortunately like got torn because I used it. I wore it so much, but yeah. So all those make sense. Okay, this, however, when I picture, Hades, Lord of the Underworld,
right?
Rule of the Dead, I don't picture him coming in like he's walking down a catwalk on a fashion runway show.
I'm the god of Hades! I'm the god of Hades! Look at me, how
Hello, it's me, I'm Hades. How are you doing?
Maybe that's the real Lord of Hades. He's just a fashionista, but nobody cares.
He's like, I have other hobbies too. Oh, speaking of that, I'm wondering how this is gonna go down because this was Hades' debut, as a speaking role. Well, no, it wasn't. Sorry, no, that was earlier. This is the second time Hades debuts as a speaking role, I suppose. But this is the time when we really got the. Oh no, this was Hades' debut because that was with Thanos before in that other scene.
Yeah, I was like.
So yeah, this is so this was the time where despite all my audio issues, BB had a crystal clear microphone in comparison to me. However, picked a voice that was impossible to make out properly.
I would never have
like I can make out because I wrote the script and I looked over the stuff I didn't write, so I knew what she was saying.
Me and Junior were like, "What is she saying?"
Yeah, it's like so. I'm wondering how that's gonna go this time, whether that's been toned down or not.
Who are you?
I'm the god of the underworld.
Oh, okay, this is really toned down. Like, I was thinking, like, maybe it'll be something like this, I'm the god of the underworld, like that kind of thing, but no, it's very much in a different register entirely.
Okay, so, this is not related to the Trolls movie. I'm just saying what colors I think when thinking about you guys, because Cartel asked what her true colors were, and then decided to be Zartan.
Oh, okay, I thought that was, like, a part of the movie. Again, I have not seen this franchise.
Don't
It's good to
trust
see
me.
you again, Jess.
Huh?
Mommy, you meet him?
No, I haven't.
Oh, yes, you have.
I'm sorry. Oh yes, you have.
I like this attitude a little bit more than the original, just because again it was all because the way the voice was, it was so thick that it was all seemed to be one note almost. But yeah, this is a bit more playful, I suppose. A bit more teasing Hades.
Yeah, I love this Hades. I know this is not like Greek mythology accurate or anything like that. Don't
me, baby butter, because I know you're Greek mythology and lore. But this is just so funny, and I just love it.
Uh-huh.
Yes, it was me.
What's going on, Mommy?
That's my ex, Alex. That's the image of your father.
I'm afraid that this is the image of her father. The true one, that is.
No.
The true one, that is. You know, just to clarify. Yeah.
Okay, okay. So here's my question: is that why
This is the most chill Hades I've seen since Percy Jackson the movie. Do you think I'm an idiot? I'm Hades!
I know, like, the movies suck because they didn't follow the books or anything like that. Everybody hated it so much. But it brought out so many memes and stuff like that. You just can't help it but love it. Like,
Yeah. Exactly.
like, I personally, I hate it. I'm so glad like the new series coming out. But now I'm just like, okay, yeah, okay, I know the movies suck, but I mean, some stuff were not too bad.
Yeah, yeah. Like, yeah, you can always be glad that, you know, that a good version came out, so you can laugh at the bad version, have that not be the be-all and end-all for the visual adaptation.
Right.
That makes a lot of sense to me. You
Yeah,
know, I wouldn't be too surprised if people go back to the movie that does not exist in Ba Sing Se at some point and just, you know, have a fun time with that. Now that we've seen that there is there's
Right.
another live action that actually cares slightly.
Also, I just want to say, why does Helen does not look like either of the parents? I mean, the blue eyes, sure, it could be like a lighter color, but like the hair, though.
I don't know. Hades is both the most sassy, whilst having the deepest voice, not counting Thanatos. I mean, that is interesting, because, like, you know, Thanatos... Hades originally had a voice that was even deeper than Thanatos. I think that's what Bieber was trying to do, actually. It's like, well, if Thanatos was down here, it's like, I must go all the way down here. Or something like that.
Don't do that again.
Okay.
That scared me.
The true Hades. Yeah, that's about the best. It's like B was actually really proud of the voice at the time because that was a voice that I couldn't like emulate. It's like that's the best that I can actually do.
Anyway.
Do you think I'm an idiot? I'm Hades. Oh, Ashley.
I don't know if I should like that or not. I hate that.
You're allowed to like it, Ashley. No need to be embarrassed. Just let it be. I would like to point out that that it was really tempting for me when we originally were making characters in Quest the Rising Sun. It was tempting for me to make a character with a voice that Kidabu would get flustered with constantly throughout the entire series. But because I wanted to bring back Nathaniel, I already had a kind of voice he sounded like. I was like, okay, I'm not gonna do that.
I mean, to be honest, the way I went in direction with Nathaniel and Hera, they're like, you know.
Yes, but that is very much like an in-universe thing. So, versus like, that'd be like, you know, you, the player, would have been getting flustered at the voice other than that, you know. And obviously that's not the part that, I don't think it was Nathaniel's voice that won Hera over.
No, it's his kindness.
Yeah. Go.
It wasn't gonna be really the voice. I was just like, no, like if you're trying to make me fluster stuff like that, like, oh god, that's gonna be more chaotic.
I know. That's just like, I mean, and that was very much the plan. If it hadn't been for the fact that I wanted to bring back that character because there was so much unexplored territory I had with him from the one shot, I would have 100% done that.
Right.
The deep voice for Dad with his daughter has this super soft voice. She gets it from my mother's side.
You're not the first. You won't be the last. Just be flattered a god took such interest in you. Well, that wasn't Zeus, that is.
Oh,
is
wow.
speaking of that, actually, the like disguising herself as like one's lover in order to like conceive a child, that's the thing that Zeus actually did. And that was actually how Heracles was born.
Backwards Ham. Like, come
Yes,
on,
okay,
Aiden.
fine. Yeah.
Aiden,
And also,
what?
to people who complain that Hades would never do this because he's one of the most faithful gods in Greek mythology, he did this out of necessity, because of like this mission that he knew that he should have to like undergo going forward, and that's why.
Yeah.
Why? Why did you do this? Why are you here?
Many, many years.
Why are you
from
running?
now, some world-ending event will happen. It was necessary to sire a child because of this.
Yeah, see, necessary. Not like he it's not like he enjoyed the experience.
What event?
No spoilers. Now, we all need to have a long talk together.
Hey, come have a long talk. Walk with me. I'm Uncle Hades. It's got like Italian mobster.
Private.
Fine. But if you try anything, I will.
You will what?
Let's go.
I would have left a bit more of a pause there, but... Oh, okay, Interesting that she leads the way, I suppose. Or then again, maybe she knows the area a bit more than he does, I suppose. The god of the sky, Thunder Zeus is getting roasted. I mean, of all people to roast Zeus, it would be Hades. Or Poseidon, actually. Or maybe Hera, like the actual goddess here, not like the character.
That's
She's
the
got
day I
most
met my
ammunition.
father.
Wow.
There is so much more to my past.
Oh, do tell.
Another day, in part 2, perhaps. Because the part 2 was mostly about Helen. Well, now I think about it, if Aidan was thinking that that'd be a good place to split it, actually, maybe that would have that scene would have been best like been left in part 2 in hindsight. But that's again.
Well, I guess he just
all the
wanted
years
a
ago.
cliffhanger.
Well, he's gonna get one either way because the cliffhanger is actually featuring certain somebody else.
Yeah, from like the movie, like one of the movies.
Well, one of the
Who are
first
you?
special.
Yeah.
Trevor?
It's-
Trevor!
There you go. So, Trevor actually, I think that was like his, that was his second appearance chronologically, or might have been his first actually, because Aidan wrote Search for the Gate very, very early on into Fallen Angels, and that's where the first time like the build up to Abraxas actually started. But it didn't get like worked on or released until much later than when it was actually originally conceived. And so because of that, this was like the last chance to introduce Trevor, but the episode was written with the intention of that episode being out already, I think. So either Search for the Gate was what came out just before this original episode would have happened, or this original episode was meant to be like, okay, who's Trevor? Well, here is Trevor. We're gonna have a whole episode about that now. I think that was the idea. That meant to be a rip in his shirt. I think it might have been like where he was like blasted in the movie. The movie, there's Search for the Gate. If people ever remember what happened in that one. I guess, ultimately, Aidan now has a choice to either remake Search for the Gate, or to continue with just the mainline series. Not sure what he'll choose, but overall, surprisingly there were a couple of things in here that I preferred in the original, but I think it was mostly voice actor delivery. Like, you know, I mean, yes, some people like to say syphilis, but you know, they at least said Thanatos right, for example. I guess it's a pick your poison type of situation when it comes to like the recast characters, because you know, now that they are the new ones, that's what we go with. That's how we do the remakes for the most part.
Yeah.
But yeah, for them, overall, I mean, clearly having the actual keyframes makes a huge difference, because now I've noticed like, actually, considering that I thought that Aidan started doing keyframes way sooner than he actually did. I thought he was just like saving up on having to do walking cycles back there, but no, he literally physically was unable to do them apart from doing screenshots. That to me says he actually was more dedicated to that craft than I originally thought. So So yeah, that kind of gives me a new appreciation for the original version, but also a relief that now that is no longer a requirement in this case. It's kind of like watching an old movie versus a modern one whereas like with an old movie, like I guess staying on topic of Greek mythology, you have as you know, let's go back further. King Kong 1933, for example, where you see all the different ways that they had to like create like this world. So they had sometimes where there was like stop motion and combined backgrounds, other times where Kong was literally a model, sometimes they would build like a sculpture and just literally have like a giant ape hand that like have to like roll onto the screen or something. And all the and they combined those different techniques because that's what you would do at the time. Whereas, of course, if you fast forward until nowadays, all the Kong films are CGI, because of course it'd be CGI. They look better, but you can appreciate the mastery and like the ways around some of the issues that came before. But so and the beauty is now both versions exist, and in unlike the King Kong films, these two are both on the internet, so you get to appreciate the pair of them at your leisure. The one thing I don't understand is why this isn't called Remake. That might have been just because of a title thing. It was not part of the...
Also, giving you what was the goal you said earlier, because we have 6
the goal was 5. The goal was 5. What did we say we were going to do? Was it like
a short story or something like that? About Jack Heartache or something like that, yeah.
No, it's definitely Jack Heart Attack now.
But yeah, but it's definitely somewhat better, something like that. Although I still see like the same issues as like the last the old version of it. Like even though like I said I don't really remember much, but I can still see like this is kind of the same not typical Aidan, but just like you can kind of see the same mistakes like the backwards hands and stuff, and just like edits as well, stuff like that, So like it might be cleaner, stuff like that, and hear like the voice acting a bit better and stuff like that. Like definitely pros on that. But I felt like he could have done so much better just because he doesn't really need to do like shortcuts and stuff like that. Because I feel like there are sometimes shortcuts can be easy and stuff like that. Like I technically did a little bit of a shortcut with episode 2, but it's not like a major change. It was just something where I'm like, do I really want this, or is that going to be too big for me? So I decided to make it just a little bit smaller to like just keep the story narrative more clean and stuff like that, to where it makes sense and stuff like that, and not something big and jarring and stressful and stuff like that where it does not make sense one bit, So I just think like if you're going to go all for it, then at least try to go all for it, unless there's something where you realize that you may want to take a step back, if that makes any sense.
Yeah. And there are some of the what used to be the typical Aidan mistakes that are not present in here, or the typical Aidanisms, I suppose. Gone are the days where most characters would stand around like saying this, for example. Now Aidan's like also between like a couple of different poses, and so we have the Aidan sequence instead. We don't have like people staying like this or staying like this or like smiling like that, or looking into the void until they start their sentence. Like the one person who was standing around waiting for their cue for someone to walk in was Adam, who was already looking in the direction of Alana before, and he wasn't like staring into oblivion. I'll never forget never forget running with you, where that's very much was they were discussing Noah out loud. He was right there, just no thoughts whatsoever, just in front of them, just staring away.
Yeah, I tried to make sure like some of the characters' voices like match like what the other characters saying, stuff like that, or if they're doing something in the background, then they're doing something in the background. Like that's what I've learned. Like, okay, if you're gonna have character backgrounds, make sure they actually move, not just staying there aimlessly like some doll or whatever that where you don't have 2 hands. Actually, make them do something.
Yeah, exactly. Like the recent like changing room scene that I've showed off for the next music episode, the one that I'm still working on. That's exactly the idea. And also, what you described are two things that they teach you in theater. Actually, when acting, they say like always have like actions that you're doing, so you're not like standing around like watching or waiting for a cue of some kind. And also the classic phrase that we've all heard is acting is reacting.
Yeah.
So and yeah, that does reign true even in animation, and it's especially in animation because when you're not reacting too much, at least in live action, there is at least some times where you can be where you'll have like some sort of movement, you'll seem alive. In animation, you'll just freeze.
Like, it's definitely a lot of effort, but it's worth it. You know, like, I definitely sometimes feel like, oh, I don't really want to move this background character at all. Like, can he just stay there? And I'm like, no, I don't want him to be like a lifeless doll. Like, he's just there for no reason, you know?
Yeah, having like, especially like having extras in the show is the one thing I appreciate like a lot. This episode we didn't really need any. I just mean like in general, because in this one,
Yeah,
they
no,
were mostly
yeah.
they was in private settings. But yeah,
Yeah.
if there's ever like a couple of people just casually shopping in the store that Adam owns, that's nice. That's all it needs to be sometimes.
Exactly.
Does it mean it's official? May write the story of Jack Hartnett, the rival of Devon Teen Knights.
And I just said go for it.
POVs. Something like that, yeah.
I said, of course, go for it, because why not? But yeah, that's my pros and cons. So hopefully he does a lot better. Hopefully, no backwards hand. I mean, like, yes, sometimes I accidentally do that, but I at least try to make sure catch it before it's too late. You know, like, come on.
Yeah.
We don't need to see the front end.
I almost did that in back face because I realized that obviously what used to be a front hand would become a backwards hand if I didn't adapt it, so I'd like paint over it. But yeah. It was all cool. It was all fine. In fact, you know what? I've got to I need to export a new version of that now because there were some things that did not work before and I was able to fix them but not actually export them out. Yeah, I fixed them, but I didn't export them in the most recent version that I showed to Aidan. So yeah, I guess to the one channel member, okay, Emily, you're going to see like the actual fixed version soon. But for now, to everyone else, please leave a like or dislike because your opinion matters. If I don't already, remember when the fourth man stares, I stare back. Right, I'm main character. It's alright, just walk away slowly. Exactly. And on that note, until next time.
Give me a while.